appears to be no, so enough of that. You guys know how we start this. Roll call.
Kaya?
Ryan.
Mikey.
Kyle.
And Steven! Welcome back, everybody, to episode 29 of our Elemental Evils campaign, The Odd Jobs. Currently, these ones don't have a title because we're doing all sorts of crazy shit, and I can't think of what title would fit there appropriately. So episode 29 it is. On our last episode, with our favorite adventuring party from the City of Danger, Mulemaster, it was a night at the Bloody Boar as our party made their way to a rather infamous fighting pit in the heart of Mulemaster. There, the party got to experience the Bloody Boar, seeing its large crowds, its gladiatorial fights, and a number of bouts, including one of the groups in the fighting pit, one of the regulars, the Fangs of the Chimera, a group of individuals all wearing a different piece of a part of the Chimera. We got to meet Andrik Satorn, the current assassination mark of Jasper, and got to hear the rumblings of the individual known as the Stone Dwarf, the current reigning champion of the Bloody Boar's fighting pits. With open betting and open drinks flowing, our very own Jasper decided to head into the Bloody Boar fighting pits, the Boar Pit, if you will. Meeting with some of these champions and getting the lay of Audric Satorn, seeing him for the Zap Brannigan style individual that he is. Jasper engaged in a fight in the gladiatorial pits. It was looking bad at first, but with remarkable speed in utilizing going around this large statue in the center of the pit, Jasper was able to be victorious in slaying their foe, and with a good payout from the rest for the rest of the party, having bet on Jasper in the pits. After watching Audric Satorn absolutely mob on his foes, Jasper decided to go up into the expensive part of the bar and have a shot at conversing with Audric Satorn, finding out and paying for a bottle of his favorite blood wine, a wine that is rumored to be nourished by the blood of evil souls. Unsuccessfully tried to poison the duelist with a pale tincture given to her by Equars of Zenitrim. Unfortunately, with a bad sleight of hand roll, knocking over the bottle and catching the ire of Audric Satorn, making a beeline out of the bar, rejoining the party. I believe the evening following was rather uneventful for the evening as the party woke up to return to their job down at the docks with... welcome back. Returning back to the docks with Crewmeg's old friends, Fergus Boltsmelter, who continued to ask a absolute deluge of odd, rather invasive questions. The party starting to get a strange anxiety from being in his presence, noticing that during the day, the City Watch seemed to avoid this area of the docks, and Jove, with a very good perception roll, noticed what appeared to be individuals floating in the Bay of Mulemaster, keeping an eye on the Indigo Wings, the vessel of Fergus Boltsmelter. However, after a day of guarding, the party received their day's payments, and another rather quiet day was had, receiving from a courier a written and formal invitation for an audience with the Karametrus, the family of an alleged noble who is teaching and perverting the breath of the yellow rose, a meditative technique originating from our very own Rornax monastery, one that allegedly allows you to subside on nothing but breathing a little bit of water and the smell of foods. However, with invitation in hand, the party returned back to the Bloody Boar to take part in the Beast Night event, a night of different fighters fighting a myriad of interesting beasts. the party found out that they were allowed to bet on themselves, and a combined total bet over 1,000 gold pieces on themselves to win the fight, knowing that losing in the Bloody Boar's fighting pits is certain death. Seeing that the Fangs of Chimera were not taking part in this squabble, Jasper had one more attempt at poisoning Audric Satorn by buying a very nice bottle of blood wine and a nice carrying cake to go with it. Created a false love letter to Audric Satorn, even putting on lipstick and sealing the whole deal. Jasper would then use a syringe gathered by her brother Freddie to administer the pale tincture into the bottle through the cork, almost getting some of the pale tincture on her skin, the poison itself already stripping the color from the single glove it landed on, as Jasper was able to successfully, and with Rory's help, deliver this to Audric Satorn, who took the poisoned bottle of wine back to his quarters on the ground floor of the Bloody Boar's fighting pits. There, the party gathered themselves, had a bit of RP, had some interesting interactions with Devamari, Dharma, the leader of the Bloody Boar's pet mage, who, with a strange insight check, I believe from either, it was either Freddy or Jove, noticed that Devamari, on the second night, seemed to have grown in size, their voice changing, taking a much more masculine hue to it, as opposed to the first night. Although Devamari's features are hard to pick out, considering the matte black mask that they wear across their face. As our party members were called forth to begin their fight in the Bloody Boar, the party walked out to the arena, with Freddy quickly casting invisibility on Jasper, and then immediately following up with a nat 20 performance check, using the Harp of Illusions to create an actual fireworks and light show, stunning the crowd and opening up for a very exciting fight, as Freddy is rocking away with the Harp of Illusions. The party is introduced as the Windbringer, Shadow Axe, the Cloak, and Rornak, what was your gladiator pit, fighting pit name?
The Twin Mercies.
The Twin Mercies. As our, and with a fantastic performance roll from Freddy, the crowd is roaring in excitement. And as the crowd begins to roar, there's a number of roaring emanating from the gates, as our party members are enjoying the last bits of Freddy's performance. The gates do open up. There's a loud roaring sound, the sounds of thick padfoots hitting the floor of the Bloody Boar, as 3 lions emerge, huge manes, long pointed teeth, clearly caked in the blood of past victories, as they stroll out as a single pack. Can I have everybody roll initiative? Also, for our audience, Groovy no longer works. It has been shut down. Something, cease and desist, copyright, something. So, unfortunately, our favorite music player does not play with my pre-set up playlist anymore. So, I will be playing them the old-fashioned way by clicking on them, turning the music down to a light, audible level, and playing that through for you guys to hear. The party, unfortunately, does not get to have this music timed up with me. However, they know that I am using a Tavern Brawl song right now as a background for our Fighting Pit bouts. So, apologies for that. Wish it was better, but it's not.
I have a quick thing Jasper wanted to do while the crowd was while we were being introduced. She kind of realized that if she succeeds in her assassination attempt, she just left evidence in an alleyway and is currently wearing one glove, which would, man, that would really be noticeable. So she's while everyone's being introduced, she like takes off her backpack and like rips off her glove and like shoves it to the very bottom of her bag under a bunch of other stuff, and throws her bag back on.
Normally, I would say make a sleight of hand check, but you're currently invisible, so no one sees this. It's a perfect. Nobody sees this. No sleight of hand check. It would take see invisibility to notice that Jasper has removed the other glove. Currently gloveless, but ready to fight nonetheless. So let's see what you guys have rolled. Let's see how you guys are gonna die.
Oh,
All right, so 19. Joe, what's your dexterity?
Dex is 14 for a +2.
14. Would you please roll a d20?
I will.
You die.
I also have advantage on initiative rolls, if that means anything. I rolled a halfling crit fail for a 2.
They also rolled a 2. Since you have advantage on initiative rolls, I will give you the edge on this one.
Yes.
What are
Nice.
the odds?
It did matter.
It did indeed matter. So, Jove. Wow. Then it is. Huh? Alright. Yeah. Okie dokie. Oh, why is this so quiet? There it is. Okay. Now, I am hoping that you guys wrote down which portcullis you were at. I feel like it was pretty evenly spread out. However, do you guys remember which portcullis gate you were at? Because I did not write down where you guys were at.
I was the bottom right, Ellis, I believe.
Bottom left. I think it was.
Yeah, because I was bottom right, I'm pretty sure.
I
Oh, okay.
I
was bottom
want.
left.
I also want to say I was top left.
Well, we'll say for this one, since we can't honor it, how about all you guys just go ahead and roll me a d8, and we'll just reposition
Okay.
here.
Apologies.
It's a-okay.
6.
6.
7.
Tracer.
1.
1 and 3. Okay, starting from the top. Top right. 1, 2, 3. Who rolled the 3?
Me.
You are on the bottom right portcullis, the one farthest from the center.
Okay.
All right, and then who had 1?
Me.
You are the top right portcullis, the one closest to the center. So we've got. I'm going to do this in the clock. So 1 o'clock, we got Rory. At 2, 3, we've got Freddie. And then, what were the other 2 numbers?
7.
And I had 6.
6, you are at the bottom left, farthest from the center. And 7, you are the top left, farthest from the center.
Okie doke.
Joe. 7 for Jasper. And coming in through that gate on the north side, opens up in this pack of 3 lions, descends upon. At the start of initiative, Jove, it did matter. You started us off.
Ooh.
As you
Now,
can see, go for it.
I was just gonna say, is the center, is that where the like well is? That big star in the center?
It's a large statue, actually.
Large statue.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's this large, like, brass statue with its palms open. You can see that there are, like, open eye sockets in it. And underneath each hand has what appears to be some sort of eye-shaped stone. And underneath those hands are what appears to be, like, a cage. And underneath it you can see what appears to be a number of potions and other items.
Gotcha.
With your
All right, so
17
then-
in perception, it's easy enough for you to see all that, Jove.
Totally. And as Jove is kind of coming out of the chute, before he's in full view, he's going to use his bonus action to cast Zephyr Strike. So he'll have that on himself. And then he is going to... I'm looking at the map here. So I've got 55 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Are all three of them like lined up at the like in front of that what would be 12 o'clock?
Yes, in front. So they are large creatures. So one has kind of taken the
Gotcha.
lead. You see one that is, clearly the largest, the bulkiest, has the most amount of scars, has the most amount of dried blood, with these like really bright green eyes. And then flanking behind him on both sides appears to be still, large male lions, but far smaller. Their eyes kind of a yellowish green compared to this really bright green-eyed lion that leads.
Beautiful. Then right out the gate, Jove is going to make a beeline so he is in range. And he is like... I'm gonna say that he'll as he comes out, he'll go a couple of feet and kind of look to the crowd to pay some homage. He's gonna be kind of holding his javelin front grip, and he'll toss it up and grab it into a back grip, so he's ready to throw it. He's gonna drop his shield just into the sand, or he'll kind of like push it into the sand, so it's I guess, is it sand or is it brick?
It's like sand and brick. You can see that
Gotcha.
it's like there have been points where this has been with sand. You can tell there's brick underneath it. There's still stains of blood and other liquids on the floor. I mean, it's rather dirty. But yeah, there's a good amount of sand you could plunge the shield into.
He's gonna do his best to make it look nice and plunge it down, and then he'll run forward, and with that Zephyr Strike going, he will throw that first javelin at the kind of the leader of the pack that is in view. I get to do so with advantage because of the Zephyr Strike. Okay, that is a 20, unnatural.
Unnatural 20, yeah, it will hit the lion. They don't appear to be wearing armor.
Beautiful. And then that is going to do... Nice. I'm going to use my Piercer feature to reroll my piercing dice. Oh, well, turned a 2 into a 1, but that's okay. I got... because I got max damage on the force. So that is for a total of 6 piercing, 8 force, for a total of, what was that, 14?
6 piercing, 8 force. Yeah, that would indeed be 14.
14. With that, he's gonna, because he's got that extra, he's, got a total of 55 movement. So he does that little flare in the beginning, does the running start, pierces that lion. He's going to like quickly about face, run back, pick up his shield, and then he's going to be kind of making a counterclockwise curve. I'm not quite sure how much movement I'll have to do this, but he wants to be kind of in the what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, like he's moving along towards that like 4th bay, if that makes sense. So like he's at
Yeah,
what is
using
that?
the statue as like a center point. What time are you at if it was a clock?
So I would be like approaching like 4-ish. So kind of goes forward, throws it, goes back to get his shield, and then he's doing a sweep, a counterclockwise sweep going towards 4 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, you end up right next to Freddy.
Beautiful. That's exactly what he wanted.
Yep, you see Jove runs out. There's that kind of pull of wind and just this faint kind of ion smell in the air, as if a gathering lightning storm is about. And you see Jove throws down the shield, opens up his arms, like ripples through those large shoulder muscles, and you see that spear just poof, there's even a small kind of pop as it leaves Joe's hands and hurtles through, striking deep into the shoulder of this kind of lead line. It roars out in pain as you can see the spear makes it all the way through, just pierces through the shoulder, through the chest of this creature, down into the sand and brick of the stone floor, pulls itself the rest of the way forward, and locks eyes with you, Jove, considering it's its turn now, as it's going to
Yay.
use its full movement. It comes around the other side of the statue and charges at you at full speed. So it is going to pounce at you, Jove. So it's going to attempt to make a claw attack. That is 13 plus 5 for 18.
Just hits.
Just hits. Can I have you make a strength saving throw?
I sure can. That's my favorite save to throw. That's going to be an 18.
An 18. Yeah, this lion barrels at you, but you are prepared for it. While its claws do come around the outside of your shield, and you can feel it slash into almost like your back, almost like, when cats grab something and they get their paws around it and bring it in. You can feel these dagger-like claws ripping into your back. However, even with its full weight, you're able to keep it from knocking you over and knocking you prone. It does. Ooh, it's going to be 6 points of slashing damage.
Nice.
And that is the first line's turn. There are still 2 more coming in through that entrance. But we move it on down to Rory.
Alrighty. Rornak, I'm gonna use my movement to head to the middle of the ring where I believe there's two other lions there, right?
Yeah, literally from where you're standing, the other 2 lions are 10 feet to your right. As you head to your portcullis, it opens up and you hear the roaring, you turn to your right, and there are 3 full-size lions, which you have read about but never seen in real life. Not really a lion-populated area at the Glacier of the White Worm.
I can't imagine why on that one. Well then, Rornak will head into that direction, and he will go ahead and make an attack at the one that is closest to him. So that would essentially be closest to his right.
Yeah, absolutely. You move the 10 feet over. It's a quick movement, and you're there. You see, it's still just a 10-foot long, must be 9 or 10 feet long, powerfully built, huge claws on it, this kind of tannish, blonde, rippling mane going through it. You can see that there are a number of cuts and scars and blood still washed on from this thing's last fight.
Gnarly. Let's take an attack. And that is a not natural 20.
A not natural 20 will do. A nat 20 will do.
Alright, so that he is going to hit it for 6 bludgeoning damage with the staff, I should say. And then Rornak kind of leans on his back foot and goes into what almost looks like a mantis stance, except he's still holding on to the staff as he gets down kind of low. And I will use Step of the Wind. Or, I'm sorry. That's not the right one. I'm doing the one that essentially lets me take the dodge action for my bonus action.
I believe that's patient defense.
That's patient defense. You're right.
Yes.
My bad.
Absolutely. And how much damage did you do on that first strike?
That was 6 bludgeoning.
6 bludgeoning. You got it.
Yep. And then I will burn the key point.
Yeah, you strike this creature and it makes a loud slap noise as your staff connects with the muscle of this creature, and you can feel the impact as this thing's head whips to the side, and you see those yellowish green eyes kind of look back into you, and you can tell that you are now under the eyesight of a predator.
Absolutely. And Rory just stays down low and just watches it and just kind of goes into observation mode, having never fought or come across a lion like this before.
Yeah, it's a strange thing. It's a very powerful creature. Like it gets low, and you can see that it is like getting low with you. Is starting to tense up. You can tell this thing is just about to pounce. But before it does, we go to. I believe that's the end of your turn, Rornak. We go to Freddy.
Yeah. So Dissonant Whispers does not say anything about them having to speak the same language as me.
It does
I
not.
I was considering doing a Crown of Madness on the two lines that are next to each other, but that does have to be a humanoid. That changed my plans real quick. So we're gonna do Dissonant Whispers on just the closest one to me.
That would be, since Jove is right next to you, you watch this line sprint across the pit and immediately begin to sink its claws into Jove. So, I mean, it is literally catty-corner to you. It's right there.
Is Jove next to that one?
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. So if this hits, then we get a lot of shit done.
Yeah. It's a wisdom saving throw, I assume?
Is a Wisdom saving?
That is a 3.
He fails. So Freddy is also going to, while he's playing his instrument for this, try and make an even bigger fireworks show, because I guess Jove is just gonna do all the magic, and so now Freddy has to really make up for this. So he's gonna try and put on a bigger fireworks show. So I'll just roll performance for that right now as well. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a 19.
A 19? Yeah, you actually mix together the kind of performance of this show with your magic and create this beautiful fireworks display as it's thundering through. You make eye contact with this lion that is currently engaged with Jove, and you just stare deep into it as you let this just cacophony of sound from this show drown into this lion as it hears this, and you see its eyes go wide. The pupils dilate, and it begins running away from you at full speed back towards its pack. Jove, I believe that's an
Not
attack.
forced movement. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I believe that is an attack of opportunity. It uses its reaction to run back.
I will roll damage.
And we'll roll an attack.
Takes 8 psychic damage.
8 psychic.
And I rolled a 20.
Yeah, roll damage.
That is going to be... Ooh, max damage for... and this is with my spear, so that is for 10 piercing damage.
They would have to be a javelin. You did not pick up your spear. I believe you didn't you launch your spear into that?
I launched a javelin,
Okay,
so
okay. You got
yeah,
it.
I can, and with the throwing weapon, I can take a piece of ammunition out and throw it all at once as part of the fighting style.
You got it. I wasn't sure if you used your electrum spear or if you had used a javelin. My mistake. Yeah, absolutely. Jove, how do you want to do this?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, with
Yes.
max damage and 8 psychic, it's the combination of you can feel this lion rearing back, almost like a horse, as it begins to try to get away from Freddy and this cacophony of fireworks display going on. You can see that there's bits of blood starting to pour from its ears and from its eyes. It's trying to get away. It leaves itself open for you.
So since it's reared up, Jove is going to try and get to the hip bone, so right at that connection of kind of where the belly goes into the leg, and he's just going full force forward. So he wants to essentially make himself a little spiky cannonball, and he is going to move that spear into the hip and kind of use his shield to essentially try and topple it back onto its own back as it goes into its death throw.
And you get the whole thing all the way over and just drive straight through this line. It jerks around violently, only for a moment, as you see its body go still and the light fades from its bright green eyes. Go ahead and roll me a performance check, Jove.
Will. That's an 18.
An 18, yeah, you topple this thing over and you pull your spear out, and with a force of spinning it back around your hand, raise it up, and you yell out towards the crowd. You're met with a huge, between Freddy's performance and the combination of you guys playing and fighting together, the crowd is in near hysterics of excitement. there is a rain of gold. Could I have everybody make dexterity saving throws?
Since I'm invisible, do I need to make this?
Oh, you certainly do. They have no
Okay.
idea that you're there. In fact, if anything, since there's seemingly nobody there, there's a good chunk of gold coming your way.
Super.
10.
10,
Super
9.
duper.
9,
11.
11,
13.
13. Freddy, you're able to kind of weave and see this gold coming and take a sidestep as a number of coins get thrown into the pit. The rest of you guys get hailed on. Bing, 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 bing. Everybody who failed take
It's
1
part of
point
my
of bludgeoning
dance.
damage.
Part of my dance, I'm like dancing and just like happening to miss them all.
It's just like, just barely. You see coins whizzing by while the rest of you, it's like ping, 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 ping. It's a strange thing to see. Some of them like get thrown in and then appear to hit an invisible like person, ting, 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 hit the ground. They're just like, ah. But all right, I believe.
And then for my bonus action, I'm gonna say, hey Johnny, show him how we get it done. And I'm gonna give one more strum of my heart and send a Johnny out to Rory.
Absolutely, you see Johnny, little spectral Johnny, bounds across the pit in that kind of low stance. Rornak, you can feel the presence of Johnny like perch right up on top of you and does like the same stance, like Remy style is on top of your head right now.
Love it.
Okie dokie. Well, it is the other 2 lions' turns. As one is going to come around the outside, the one that's farther away from you, Rory, and comes around the statue and begins to go after who just stabbed the other lion, which would be you, Jove. Since it can't see you, Jasper, you do have the opportunity to make an attack if you would like. As it comes bounding around, you can see this thing like all fours going full speed as it makes this running leap towards Jove.
Since I'm technically hidden, any chance I would get advantage on that?
Oh yeah, you would have advantage. You're invisible.
Dope. In which case, she will take that opportunity. Swing with her namesake axe. That's not great. That's only gonna be a 12 to hit.
A 12? Normally you'd be fucked, but that just hits.
Right, because it's an animal. My
Yeah.
goodness. So I do get the sneak attack on that. Oh my god. My die hate me so much. Total of 7 slashing.
7 slashing. You absolutely you catch this thing on like the hind legs as it's leaping through speed. You like are able to stick your axe out and just like hold it as this lion's like leg gets ripped open as it like launches by. It does take the damage and then goes over to you, Joe, for an attack. That's a 13 plus 5 for 18.
Boom! Once
Can you
again.
make a strength saving throw, please.
Shall.
Fuck.
Ooh, that is a 14 strength this time.
You are rocked from the side by the full weight of this lion. However, as you know, you're kind of recoiling from the amount of coins you already have kind of your shield up, and it's just enough to keep you from being knocked prone. You will still take 4 points of slashing damage, since I rolled a 1. But you are not knocked prone, as you now have another lion who is currently attempting to overtake you. The other lion, whilst that is going to engage with you, Rornak. It backs up about 10 feet. You do have the opportunity to take an attack of opportunity if you would like.
I will do that, indeed.
Yeah, it gets low and it begins to like back up from you, and you're already prepared. You can make a quick strike out at it.
That's a critical fail.
And you like reach out, and the lion jumps backwards, and you strike the ground, and the reverberation bounces the staff in your hand. You currently are disarmed. As this lion runs towards you and is also going to make a pounce at you. That's not going to do it. That is only a 9. As it leaps. Oh, it even has disadvantage because you are patient defense. Well, it was a 3. Then at disadvantage, I rolled a nat 20. So,
Well,
you see
Way
it,
to get it out
had
of the system.
had you not been prepared for it, this thing might have completely clotheslined you. But you're ready, and you get low, and it almost hops all the way over you. Is now on the opposite side, as it kind of like lands and spins around and has this large snarl as it tries to take a swipe at you. But you get low to the ground, duck underneath it, especially now with the staff out of hand. You're almost able to do like the finger push-up, where you go down on your fingers and you get real low and then push yourself right back up, and in a defensive stance. Now we turn over to Jasper. We're now visible.
Yeah. She's going to give chase to the one that she hit, since it's going after a ranged bull, and she'll flank it and make another axe swing.
Go for it.
That's a nat 20.
Nice.
That'll do.
So
Beautiful.
that's 16 plus another 5 for a 21 slashing.
21 slashing. How do you want to do this? Well, it's engaged with Jove, and you can see he's holding his shield up. It's like clawing into his back, completely focused on trying to eat your halfling ranger.
Kind of taking a cue from the lions who are kind of doing this like charging leap. She like sprints full speed and leaps in the air and like overhead swings down like right in between his shoulder blades, and like the entire axe head just goes straight in.
And you see its entire body immediately like cuts out, like you pulled the plug of like a computer, just turns off, and you can see its like head opens to like roar one last time, but your axe just drives deeper, slicing through its neck from like the back end forward. As you like pull it back out, there's one last jerk as you like almost stand atop this lion as like it slides off of Joe's shield. Could you make me a performance check, Jasper?
Sure thing. 8.
You like pull the axe out and go to the crowd and kind of mess up your landing, and like your back foot like slips off the lion's back, and you kind of like stumble there, and there's a good amount of cheering, but also some jeering as well towards Shadow Axe.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? That's, that'll be her turn.
Yeah, then we move over to Jove.
All right. So with 2 dead lions at his feet, he's going to kind of survey the situation. I imagine see Rory still engaged with that lion. He will break out a javelin and will throw it at the remaining one.
Go for it.
Ooh, that's that's 13.
A 13 will hit.
And it's gonna do. It's gonna do 8 piercing.
Absolutely, as it pierces into this lion. Rornak, you can see one of Joe's javelins pierces it from the side and is currently sticking out of it as it roars out in pain.
Well done.
And he'll just kind of stand his ground there.
You got it. Then it is Rory's turn.
I am going to attack the one that just tried to pounce me. Let's go. And that will hit with the 25.
25 will hit. You guys are fucking these lions up.
Yeah, a little bit.
Use the Johnny.
Oh, can I add damage to it with that, or?
I
Is
mean,
that
if you
to the
if you
roll?
use him on the attack roll, then he does extra damage. Yeah.
Actually, I will use Johnny in just a second. I did roll 10 bludgeoning on that initial attack.
10 bludgeoning, and then roll Johnny damage.
Use him. You said you're gonna
Oh,
use him later.
I was going to use another key point to do flurry of blows, and I will use my Johnny for the first of those 2 unarmed attacks.
Go for it.
The
So,
D6.
yes. So that is an 18. Does it matter what the Johnny rolled for the?
Yes.
I rolled a 2 on the Johnny die,
An
Okay.
18 with the
18
2 will
overall.
hit.
and
Uh,
then
They make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw. That is. Oh, that is only a 6.
Then they take 2 thunder damage.
and then I rolled a 13 on the second unarmed
That'll
strike.
also hit. What's your total damage?
Calculating.
Calculating.
So that is a total, adding all the modifiers together. That is going to be 10 bludgeoning damage.
10 bludgeoning. Rornak, how do you want to do this?
Woo! Oh boy.
In tandem with the young Johnny.
In tandem with the young Johnny.
I swear he's involved with more last hits than I am.
It's true.
It's because we're not fighting insects. That's really what it comes
That's
down
fair,
to it.
yeah.
You know
More
your weapon
insect we
only
fight,
works on
the more-
insects.
The more last hits I'll get.
Bug type
Call
Pokemon.
myself the Exterminator.
They're their biggest weakness.
Yeah. Rornak goes again with a big sweeping strike with the staff, and as he's going around with that momentum, he does a front flip and basically does like a double axe kick with that. And I imagine the Johnny just follows forward, doing the same motion, just springing out forward as we both just like land straight on top of this lion's head, just kind of stomping it at the end of the axe kick together.
And there's this loud crunching noise as the lion goes headfirst into the ground. Its body splays out as its life leaves it. Go ahead and roll me a performance check.
That's a 12.
A 12. You like back up from the crowd and you kind of do, instead of like a big cheer, you just simply kind of bow out towards the crowd, and there's a nice bit of cheering from it. Certainly not a lot of jeering, but not a shower of gold coins. As this lion takes its last breath, and there are currently 3 dead lions on the field, you hear Darmom's voice ring out. Well, isn't that some fucking beast fighting? But I don't think that we can just leave it there with these beasts. How about we see some real monsters? And you all hear this cacophony of multiple sounds of 2 different types of roars, what sounds like a large goat, and then there's a thud, 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 as both gates open up. From one side, you see what might be the brawniest dwarf you have ever seen in your entire life. His skin is a dark gray. Looks like it's completely made out of stone. You swear you can see bits of stone like shave and like grind off of this individual as they carry this one large hammer behind them. As the stone dwarf enters in from the southern gate, you can hear immediately the crowd goes from cheering you all on to Stone Dwarf, Stone Dwarf, and it cuts through as the entire place begins chanting. On the other side, as the gates open, a new creature emerges, large, winged, with the head of a goat, a lion, and what appears to be a dragon. Can I have you guys all either roll Arcana or Nature as this creature enters?
It's a 20 for nature.
20 for Nature,
19 for nature.
19 for Nature,
18
Oh.
for nature.
12 for nature.
12 for Nature. You've all heard about this creature, either from storybooks, from research into monsters and the usage of their body. And for some of you, the fangs of Chimera seem far too ironic for this moment, as that is indeed a fully sized Chimera entering into the fighting pit. We're going to maintain our initiative here and add the Stone Dwarf and this Chimera into the mix.
So is the stone dwarf looking at us like we're his target, or like the chimera is the target?
He currently has his eyes fixed on the Chimera. He
Okay.
sees the kind of lot of you and, with a slight nod, pulls at the hammer, and you can see this thing appears to be a bright, almost kind of silvery-looking hammer. However, it doesn't appear to be made out of silver. It's incredibly heavy. It seems completely off-balanced, with way too much weight on kind of the head of this thing. It would take a massive amount of strength just to wield this, let alone fight with such a such a cumbersome weapon. As it kind of nods to you all, glares up at Darmov, looks over to the Chimera, and you can see him ready his large hammer. As the Chimera and the Stone Dwarf come in at, where were your guys' initiatives? 5, 13, so that would put him. Oh, perfect. Yeah. And then Stone Dwarf. So, would you believe that after Rory is the Chimera? Looking around, with an 8 in perception, it is going to go over to you, Rornak, and its goat head leads the charge, and is going to make its first attack against you with its horns. That is going to be a 14 to hit.
It does not.
It does not. You see it coming through on the Chimera's goat head leads the charge, and you see the horns coming, and you drop low as it moves forward past you. You may take an opportunity of attack if you'd like.
I will. Thank you. That's only an 11.
An 11? An 11 does not hit. You go to swipe at this creature, but between all 4 of its legs and the beat of its wings, it is moving fast. It moves down across, coming around the sides. You see it right in front of you, Freddy and Jove, and I guess technically Jasper, since you're all right next to each other. It looks like the lion is about to reach forward, but instead the dragon's head goes forth and lets out a gout of flame. Could I have all 3 of you guys do a dexterity saving throw?
Ooh boy.
Our first taste of dragon breath.
Was I in that group? I'm sorry.
You were not in that group. You were on
Okay.
the other side of the arena. It took a horns attack against you, and upon missing, just let its momentum carry it forward, and is now engaging the group of individuals on the, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock area of the map.
Okay.
14
Cool.
decks, 14 decks, 23. Woohoo! Freddy and Jasper, that is a fail.
Oof.
Jove, that is a success. You guys take Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Better. Unfortunate. Better. Unfortunate. That is, out of 7 rolls, that is 3 1s, 2
Yeah.
2s. So
Wow.
that's 4, 7, 3 1s, 2 2s.
The dragon hiccuped while it was breathing.
Plus 4, and then plus 7 for 11 for a grand total of, if you succeeded, you only take 11 points of fire damage, and if you failed, that is 22 points of fire damage.
Sheesh.
As it breathes flame across you. You can see the crowd is one part cheering, one part screaming out. Some people are moving back away from it as this large monstrosity, this conglomeration of dragon, goat, and lion all come out in full circle. As it rears back and lets out this terrifying roar of 3 parts as all 3 heads roar out. You can smell your burned flesh on you, and you can feel the singeing of so many parts of your body. However, we move it on down to Freddy.
Okay. I am going to give it a turn before I do that. I'm going to bonus action cure wounds on myself. Or no, that's a regular action. Action cast cure wounds on myself. Get 6 back.
Gotcha.
Bonus action, I'm gonna send a Johnny over to Jasper.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna run to a part of the arena where there's not gonna be anybody else around me.
Absolutely. It will get an attack of opportunity on you, though.
Oh, well then I don't do that. I just like rotate around him.
Absolutely.
So he can't just like blow fire on all of us at the same time again.
Yeah, you rotate around, going away from the dragon head towards, so it's like dragon, lion, goat, towards like the goat head, and you stay within its attack range so you don't provoke opportunity, but get out of the way so that you're not grouped up with your party. Gotcha. Then, there's nothing else from you, Freddy. It is the Stone Dwarf. As the Stone Dwarf makes his way over, he goes right up next to you, Jove, and you see him bring this massive hammer as he strikes against the chimera. He's going to make 2 attacks. The first one, natural 18. That'll hit. The second one, it's a 17. That will both will hit. 2 d10s. Wow, there's where the rolls are coming in. As he deals 30 points of bludgeoning damage.
Good God.
Rolling a 10 on both of those.
I'm sorry, what?
You see him, and he brings the hammer, and it strikes the dragon's head. And there's a goof, goof. You can hear, it's like this thing has bass built into it, and when it makes contact, you can hear it like reverberate out with this doom. And he brings it around. He like catches the hammer with his left hand and brings it back around like this grueling amount of strength, and brings it across, and it hits the goat head. And there's a doom. 30 points of damage. Damn, Stone Dwarf. Without even kind of saying anything, just kind of grunts at you, Jove, as he takes a defensive stance next to you. And you can see, while he's not all that much taller than you are, Jove, he is like 2, maybe even 2.5 of you stacked side by side.
Christ.
He's just like an absolute. He's a fucking rock that moves. Like,
Is
that's
it
not
too
even a
late-
rock. That's a boulder.
Is it too late for me to join the crowd as a Stone Dwarf fan right now?
It
Like,
is never
Dwarf.
too late. Rornak, you find yourself joining the crowd because with every, like, said, stone, dwarf, it's like almost in unison with the crowd chanting. You can't help but feel like your heart rate sync up with it, like stone dwarf, stone dwarf.
Fucking fair weather fan.
That's gonna be the stone dwarf's turn. It is now Jasper's turn.
If she is capable of strafing around it to get flanking with the stone dwarf, like opposite end of the chimera from the stone dwarf, I mean.
Make me an acrobatics check to get through the multiple deadline bodies, past the stone dwarf, like around the chimera, skirting your brother and Jove to get behind it.
That's fair. Let's see how that goes. It's a 14 acrobatics.
You are able to get past the bodies of these deadlines, kind of leaping through them, going around, staying outside the range of this chimera. And as you get around to the back of it, you're expecting to see hind legs, but a noise greets you as its tail is a snake. So while you are flanking it, and you do have your fellow party members with it, which would give you sneak attack, it does not give you advantage because it clearly sees you.
Yeah, that's fair. While she's kind of making her way around, she's gonna kind of get control of her breathing after getting just slammed by that gout of fire. She's gonna use her bonus action to second wind.
Absolutely.
Get some of that precious HP back. Hey, whoa, a good second wind.
What? First time in the campaign?
I know.
What was it?
9 plus 2 for 11.
Wow.
Yeah, look at her. Making some of that back. So yeah, she'll make the attack on the snake head. Not super. That's a 15 to hit.
A 15 will do.
Beautiful. And you said it did confer sneak attack?
It does count as sneak attack. You do have your allies within melee range of this.
Dope. That will be 12 slashing.
12 slashing. Yeah, you strike across the snake head of it. You don't decapitate it, but you do see a long, deep gouge in the side of its head as it kind of pulls back, and there's a as it rears back and prepares to strike out against you.
Okie doke. That is everything she's got.
All right.
Actually, do I have movement left?
From there, for where you are at, with your 40 feet of movement speed, I'd say you got about 10 feet left. Hopping over
Yeah,
lines
since
and
she's
strafing
not-
around.
Since she's not providing anyone with flanking, she'll utilize mobile to leap on back 10 feet so it can't get an easy hit on her.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the snake head almost kind of like twitches out to the side as it deals with the strike of your blade as you move back. Does not get an attack of opportunity due to mobile.
Dope. Then that'll be my turn.
All right, Jove, you are side by side with a stone dwarf with a large chimera standing over you. What would you like to do in this moment?
Okay. Utilizing Jove's ability as a halfling to be able just to like pass through creature spaces that are bigger than me, right? He's going to do a little bit of a dodge roll, kind of through the legs. He doesn't want to go on the complete opposite side like Jasper just did, but kind of on the broad side of this thing. And I imagine, partially so he can maybe get any fires that are on him currently doused in the sand as he does this, but he's going to kind of do almost like a running leap, and as he's going through the dodge roll, just on the upwards, he's going to try and just kind of strike into the belly as he's going, kind of that oblique line to this creature's side. So
Yeah,
gonna be going through, rolling through, trying to poke the soft spots, and then again, this is with his Electrum Spear, and then have that. So we kind of have, we're not just both just mean mugging this thing right in front of it. So
You got it.
make that attack with the Electrum Spear. Ooh, that is a crit fail, but lucky thing, I'm a halfling.
Oh my gosh.
There's
Oh,
the one per episode.
More
like
than
his
that
test.
20!
You can't keep getting away with this.
He can't keep getting
Yes.
away with it.
I fucking love this shit.
That's-
Okay.
How did you roll both crits, by the way? How?
Fucking halflings, man.
Oh my god.
You actually
Yes.
do roll the most crit fails in this whole campaign, and had you not played a halfling, I would have been able to punish more.
Oh my god. And I just rolled max on my damage. So I just did what is that, 20? Yeah, so 20 piercing damage, please.
Jove.
Absolutely, as you drive through, you can see it pierces deep into this creature. In this manner of 6 seconds, it's been struck twice by these powerful hammer blows, been stabbed up through the back. The snake on the back has a nick out of it. He's just getting absolutely poked to death currently. Jove, you roll out and pop out to the side of it. Successful in your rolling strike. Couldn't have timed it any better. It's this perfect, like, throwing the shield down, getting the roll as you're coming up with your full memento, stabbing the spear up into the soft underbelly of this creature, and then rolling all the way through, ripping your spear out of this creature, dealing even more damage to it as you come out on your feet, flames extinguished, spear dipped in blood of this monstrosity in front of you.
Yes. You'll stand stalwart there for whatever comes next.
Rory, it's your move.
Yamu.
Well, thankfully, my deck has no bad cards, Kaiba, so I will I will approach this big ol' monster that we're going after. I guess I don't know if there's an open head to strike at this point, but wherever there's space, I'll line myself up for the attack.
You got it.
And that is an 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
All right. So it will take 9 bludgeoning, and I will do the unarmed bonus attack. That's for another 17 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Nice. And so that's an extra 2 bludgeoning.
Gotcha. As you
And
unleash a flurry of blows across this creature. Thwap, thwap, thwap.
that's all for me. I no extra movement. I'll just post up there with the crew.
All right, it is now the Chimera's turn. There's a lot of you guys on it. So, as it kind of like spins around like in all directions, all of its head switching targets in this kind of flurry as it spins. Let's see, do we get the recharge? We do.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
No.
But there's none of you guys are in a good position for this. So it is going to make 3 attacks. One towards you, Rornak, with the snake head. As it spins around, you feel like you're safe for just a moment as its like hindquarters are to you until you see the snake head attached as a tail. As it strikes out to bite you, that is a 19 plus 7 for 26.
I will absolutely hit.
Can you make me a Constitution saving roll, please?
Oh yeah, that's a 6.
You're going to take 8 points of piercing damage and another 13 points of poison damage.
Oof.
Oof.
as it bites into you, and you feel the venom from this snake head just bleed into your body. You feel like your insides are on fire as it gets you right like in the upper shoulder, like piercing deep into your arm, as you feel like you want your right arm to go numb from the poison of it. It's this terrible sensation of like not having full sensation in your arm, but also feeling nothing but fire at the same time. It feels hotter than actual flames, but on your insides. The Chimera is going to whip around and use its horns on the stone dwarf, trying to return some of that bludgeoning damage. Yep, that's an unnatural 20 as it deals. Oh, that's a d12. D12, please. Ooh, as it deals 16 points of damage to the stone dwarf. As it comes back and as it spins around, the goat head catches the stone dwarf straight in the forehead and just headbutts it. You see, just for a moment, the stone dwarf looks vaguely stunned. You can hear the sound of cracking rock, and a little bit of blood starts to come from the forehead, but the stone dwarf is still very much on his feet. And then, lastly, it is going to spin around, and the lion head of this one, Jove, is going to try to make a bite at you. Whoo! Return to sender, nat 20!
Yikes!
Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy, that is...
We think to God.
This is gonna be a lot. Jove, you take 22 points of piercing damage.
And Jove is on his back.
You roll out from this with this, incredible move of stabbing this creature straight through the center. And just as you get back to your feet, it spins around its full force. It's like the lions of fights past all give this thing its energy, its drive, and it bites deep down. You see the most of Jove's body goes into the mouth of this creature. There's a large crunch noise as you see it pick Jove up and then slam him back down, a bite wound going all the way across like his midsection. Jove, you feel this blinding pain, and then you are met by darkness as his body drops down to the ground as it turns around and lets out this horrific roar, Jove's blood dripping from its teeth as it spins back around. Freddy, it's your turn.
Alright. I am going to go up to him. Wait, is this... This is a range. Okay, I will not go up to him. From a range, I will cast Healing Word on Jove.
Absolutely.
Jove, you are healed 4. Oh, max 7.
Nice, thank you, sir.
Jove, it goes black, and there's the smell of winter green as you are currently prone, but you... and you can feel this deep pain around basically the midsection of your entire body. You can feel Freddy's magic fills some of those deep wounds in there, but you still feel incredibly punctured.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't really do another spell then. But I can do a firebolt.
Absolutely. This will be at disadvantage because it is within melee range of you. Range
Oh, that's
spells.
right. No,
Yep.
I thought I moved away. Can I do an attack instead? I thought I moved away, but then
Yeah.
I remembered that
Yep, absolutely. You may definitely do an attack. Bonus action for Healing Word. Attack with, I assume, your rapier. Your +1.
yes.
Absolutely, go for it.
+1 rapier. Ooh, 22 to hit.
A 22 will hit.
Is this some kind of insect?
It's like, it might be. You're looking at that goat's eyes. You're like, those are weird eyeballs. It definitely could be vaguely insect-like.
Could be some kind of bug. 8 piercing.
8 piercing. Yeah, and you watch as Freddy drives this rapier straight into like the front of this thing's chest. It like whips it out, and Freddy like says a word of healing over to Jove. One of its heads looks that way towards Jove, seeing him come back to conscious as Freddy drives his rapier straight to the chest of this creature, and it howls back in pain.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna position myself again, spaced out from everybody.
Absolutely. Kind of creating this net of bodies around this chimera. After Freddy's turn, it's the Stone Dwarf. The Stone Dwarf is going to make 2 attacks. One of them will hit. He brings his hammer down. Let's see, do I still have Stone Dwarf rolls? Meh. Alright, that one is only a 6. Because roll min damage. As he follows up your strike, Freddy, with one of his own. Striking this creature straight in the chest, you can hear the sound of what appears to be like a clavicle breaking. As he strikes it, and there's that strong, bassy resonance. Then it is Jasper.
She is going to just make a straight line towards it and make another axe swing
Absolutely.
at whatever bit of it she can land a hit on. Nice. That's a 23 to hit.
A 23 will hit.
I assume still conferring that sneak attack for
Yep.
another 11 slashing.
11 slashing. Yeah, Jasper, you run in and slash it at its back leg. You can see now that multiple slash wounds and puncture wounds, deep bruising from broken bones from hammer swings and staff swings. This thing is starting to look incredibly hurt. The heads are starting to kind of, you can see the goat head is starting to loll off, goes into a strange kind of what appears almost like a death rattle. The snake head hangs kind of limply as it tries to like pick itself back up and strains its muscles to stay attentive. Starting to look very spicy.
Yeah. Knowing how cornered animals will pull out all the stops, I think she's gonna play it safe. Utilizing mobile and a cunning action dash, she's going to go to the hide on the opposite side of the statue from where this chimera is.
Absolutely. With the speed that is becoming the MO of Shadow Axe, you get the fuck out of there behind the statue, placing it between you and the chimera, and it has no ability to strike out against you as you run in and run back out.
Dope. That's it for me.
Then,
Have you used your Johnny?
I have not used
Okay.
my Johnny. I'm keeping it in the back pocket just in case.
Jove, back to you.
All right, Jove is gonna pick his ass up off the ground. So that'll use
Half your movement
half
speed.
his movement. So don't really have a lot that he can move. And Jove, having spent a lot of time fighting animals and whatnot, I'm sure he catches that same thing as far as the straining of muscles and it looking a little on the weak side, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell, you can see the heaviness of this creature. It's breathing harder, bleeding profusely. You can see multiple damage marks on it.
All right. Then he's just gonna big ball it, and he's gonna strafe his 10 feet that he can further away from the stone dwarf. And as he's doing that, he will plunge his spear once again.
Go for it.
Not so good that time. That is only a 9. So I'll
A 9
miss.
will not do. You're still a little off-footed from coming back to consciousness from that last strike. You go for the spear strike, and you can feel that pain rip through the center of your mass, and it makes you twinge up, and your spear does not find purchase in this creature.
But he didn't hear no bell, so he's gonna have that shield up and ready for the next round.
Absolutely, Rornak.
Alrighty. Well, Ronak is thankfully still on his feet, even after taking the gnarly bite on that one. So he is going to take another strike here at the Chimera. Not finding purchase with a 9 on that one.
No, that is not going to do. This
Yeah.
time it's ready for you, and it flaps its wings, and there's a strong gust of wind that like lifts it just enough to dodge your strike.
Yeah, Rornak stays his ground on that one, but he again starts to lean on his back foot and goes into that prey mantis stance, as I will use another key point for patient defense here.
Absolutely. You go into that stance. It is now the Chimera's turn. It is going to. It did not like that rapier strike straight to the chest. So, Freddy, you are getting a horns attack. Ooh,
Is what I'm getting.
17.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I guarantee you, most of the things that you can roll will hit me.
That is going to be 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's it?
Yeah, for that one.
Yeah!
Then it is going to. The snake is going to try to bite you again, Warnak. That is at disadvantage. Well, that's a natural 20 and a 14. But that 14 has +7 for 21.
The 21 would almost hit. Except just as it is about to find purchase with Rornak, as he raises up his staff, anyone who's looking closely can again see that it's like it just... You would almost think it hits the staff, but it's actually just stopping short. Like there's something physically pushing it back, as I do use my my psionics to activate shield there, putting me just
A
at
real
reach on
Satoru
AC.
Gojo moment.
Yeah,
Woo!
totally.
Literally saved my ass by 1 AC. Oh man.
Yeah, you can
Incredible.
feel just like you get your staff up, and it's like you can just barely feel like the tips of the fangs like at your hand, just millimeters away from touching your skin. But your psionics holds through as it backs up. This chimera, would you believe, feeling cornered, uses its movement and flaps its wings and goes 15 feet into the air. You may all make attacks of opportunity. Minus your
Hell
Jasper.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got a 24.
That'll hit. The stone dwarf only rolled a 9.
18.
18, that'll also hit.
Tell you, it's some kind of bug. I'm gonna let this motherfucker go.
It's flying. It's obviously a bug. I got 7 piercing.
7 piercing. Ronak, you used your reaction already for shield. Freddy, what damage do you do?
I do. Ooh, 10 piercing.
Piercing.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys stab it as it gives you its underbelly. It rises up, and you see the flame build into the dragon's head as it, in a 15-foot cone from 15 foot above. I believe it catches everybody except for Jasper. Everybody make me dexterity saving throws. Rornak with advantage, because you are still under patient defense, I believe.
Yes. thank you.
19.
19, save.
Oh, I'm still down though. Like, there's no way I survived that.
14.
14, failure.
Ooh.
Oof,
Oh, with the advantage, I got 16. That saved me from a
Save.
low roll.
Save.
Ooh.
That's gonna be. That is going to be 31 points of fire damage for failures and 17 for saves.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm down too.
I am actually down.
Oh my god!
The stone dwarf is not down, but you can see he is heavily charred from that. His skin going from a gray to a dark kind of blackened color. The hammer in his hands almost looking red hot as it heats up from the flames, but he does still stand, though badly burned, as the chimera drops back down onto the ground and appears to look over the bodies, deciding which one it wants to consume first. Moving on down, that would be the stone dwarf, who's going to give it 2 strikes. That is only a 12. It's not going to do. And the second one, that's an 18, so it does do. Striking it for a full 15 points of damage. and you can see one of the heads, the ram's head, as he breaks this hammer down. It shatters one of the horns, and the head goes limp. With the other two heads coiling back in anger and pain and a very abundant sense of fear. We drop it down to Jasper.
After like the flame past the fucking statue, she'll round the corner and see her entire party downed. I think she's gonna make a beeline for Freddy if she can.
She can.
She will use her action to pour a potion of healing into his mouth.
Gotcha.
How much is that again?
You do have to roll for that. That's 2d4 plus 2.
Let me just drop my d4 real quick. That's 6 healing for Freddy. She is going to action surge. She's gonna use what movement she has left to try to get on a different side of it than Freddy is.
Yeah, you do.
And we'll just try to make an attack. That's a nat 20.
Oh my
Fucking
god.
A.
Oh my god.
Roll your damage.
Will do. That's 16 plus another. Oh, sorry, it's not 16. It's 18 plus another. It's 25. It's magical slashing.
How do you want to do this?
Yes. I think. God, yeah, I think she wants to go for the dragon head, because she knows one more of those and it's just game over. She's gonna, like, underhand swing and catch it, like, right in the throat and just try to just saw it in as much as she can.
It is brutal, bloody work. As you see, the crowd sees this since the rest of you are unconscious, runs from behind that statue, the flames still burning in some parts of the stage, darts past them, runs to Freddy, shoves a healing potion in. Freddy, you come to just in time to see your sister throw the vial away, and she, with one hand, swings her axe up, the momentum almost carrying her into the air as it strikes into the neck of this dragon. You can see bits of flame and blood sprouting out from the wound as she drives it and starts bringing it back and forth in a sawing motion, and the entire intensity of it drops this chimera to the side as she's doing it. And instead of just like hacking it back now that she has the momentum, she just stays on it and saws through the rest of this thing, going through, breaking from the dragon head. There's a bit of blood and gout, and just driving the axe deeper until it goes through the lion's head, through the goat's head, and you have a now headless chimera, save for the single snake head still attached to it. As its body hits the stage, the pit, with a loud thoo, there's stunned silence for just a second before the whole crowd erupts into large cheers. There's a showering of gold and other coins. People are cheering. You can look up, and Jasper, even with your terrible perception, you can see Darmov is grinding her teeth at her throne, a huge frown on her face, seeing not only you all succeed, but the Chimera dead, and the stone dwarf still standing, who looks over to you, Jasper, and gives a single nod and says, "Talk later," as he begins to head back into the gates, dragging the still hot hammer behind him. You can hear small kind of bits of singe and flames erupt from different debris left on the field, marking kind of this scorched patch behind him. You can tell that he is heavily burned. The fact that he's still conscious at this point is impressive nonetheless. The fact that he's still carrying that piping hot hammer behind him as you see him descend into his portcullis and head towards what you know is his room. The crowd is just cheering. You can see Darmov is trying to say something, but it's just being drowned out by the cheers of the crowd. Freddy, you are currently conscious to see this. Can I have, in this moment, Jove and Rornak, can I have you make a death saving throw?
$19.
Success.
11.
Success.
Yeah, in these moments, I think Jasper gives the stone dwarf a return nod, and I think just high on what she's done, she digs her axe into the ground and grabs the dragon by one of its horns, the dragon head, and kind of raises it in kind of a victorious kind of cheer back at the crowd.
Absolutely. You raise it up, and it's a shower of incredibly hot blood that you can feel even through your armor as it kind of drips around you, holding it up, and there is a chant of not Stone Dwarf, but Shadow X, Shadow X, Shadow X, Shadows X, Shadows X. You can see, looking around, the fangs of the Chimera are leading the chant on this one. You can see the three of them just the entire time cheering you on. Freddy, what would you like to do as you come to conscious, seeing your sister holding this beheaded dragon's skull above to a just deafening sound of Shadow Axe?
Let me go around healing. So I'll do a cure wounds on Rory.
Rory, you feel yourself with wintergreen energy, breath returning
9.
into your lungs as you're healed for 9.
Nice.
And I'll do a second level cure wounds on Jove. 11.
As you both go into this kind of faded black unconsciousness. Jove, during your time unconscious, having fallen to Dragonfire, you have this sort of memory, a vision of flying, going across the sky at insane speeds. You can see the moon sea from an aerial view, see it stretch out for hundreds of miles in every direction, this great body of water, and with no time at all, you are sailing right across it through the clouds. You look and you see bright, shining scales adorn your form, powerful wings, and looking through, you can see in the distance what appears to be an army. Hundreds and hundreds of huge humanoid figures, all towering easily above 10 feet, large even by your standards, as you see this army descending upon this area you call home. And you let out a roar, and you feel lightning fill the air. And as you have this moment of about to unleash this torrential energy upon your enemies, you come back to consciousness.
Fuck, yeah, that definitely shakes Jove. He stumbles up onto his feet and raises his spear in victory, but it's not as glorious as his display when he took down that first lion is, for sure.
Like Endeavor raising a fist after his fight with High Grade.
Mm-hmm.
You all sit in kind of this afterglow, this as loud as it is with the crowd chanting Shadow Axe, with Jasper, you relishing this just sense of power you have. It is strangely quiet as you all kind of have this moment to reflect. Everybody go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Catchphrase.
17.
17, 15,
12.
12. Looking amongst the crowd, Jasper, you are too involved in your glory. Rornak trying to patch yourself together. But Freddy and Jove, as you kind of stare out through the crowd, you do see Devamari ducking in and out and making their way towards the betting booth with a very hefty bag of gold. You sit and you let the crowd cheers wash over you. The whole time with those, even with those bad perception checks, you can all clearly see Darmov just seething on her just gaudy throne at the end of this, just hateful daggers as she, watches Devmari leave with all that gold and brings it back to the table. You see her, yell out and point towards people, gets like a big thing of like whatever liquor that she has and drinks it, and there's no cheering or like fanfare from it. You just watch her seethe for a while before you guys eventually, after a few moments of this, eventually you see some like cudgel wielding thugs from the Bloody Boar begin to come out and start pulling the bodies of these dead creatures. The 3 dead lions, a multiple decapitated head of a chimera, as they start like having to heave ho and tie ropes to drag these just heavy dead weight bodies of these large creatures off of the Bloody Boar pit. It is crowded in here as you guys eventually are kind of ushered back into the portcullis, into that kind of meeting room with that large pool with Andrix Satorn and the Stone Dwarf's quarters just down the hallway as you all kind of re-meet back up after your fight.
Unless I'm told to drop it, Jasper's keeping the dragon head.
You may indeed keep the dragon head.
Yes.
I think the first thing Joe is going to do is try and pull up some water from that pool, or if it's just an open pool, whatever it may be, just kind of splash his face and try kind of readjust.
Absolutely, it is like a standing pool of drinkable water, but it can also be used to, wash yourself off. You can feel the burns across your body, Jove. It's a double dose of the pain of being burned badly twice, and also the pain of this kind of, these puncture wounds all around the torso of your body, like towards your midsection. But you're able to wash the blood off, get that kind of, the water's cool and soothing on your hands from all of that fire.
And he'll kind of nod over to Freddy and say, well, not sure if you've got me up twice in one fight before, but thanks for that. And you can see that he wants to say more, but he is still in some considerable pain, and looks not to be just physical. In fact, Jasper, if you didn't have such shitty perception, you would notice this, but as as you come in bringing the kind of the beheaded dragon head, Jove kind of has a moment of disgust as he kind of looks away and looks down into the pool and kind of splashes some more water in his face.
Oof.
Jasper, roll me insight.
Sure thing. Uncharacteristically high. That's a 15.
It's not until you see Jove look kind of away in disgust in such a un-Jove-like fashion towards it that it kind of breaks you from this moment, this highlights of your kind of just savage victory over this monster as you're like holding this and you see Jove, and it strikes you, especially since your last adventure, just feeling more sensitive to Joan's emotional attunement. You're able, even with your typically low wisdom, you're able to read Jove immediately and know that he is deeply bothered in a way that is not characteristic of Jove.
Yeah, I think I think she'll get scarce. Like dropping it in the middle of the hall isn't gonna help anything. So she'll get out of his eyesight. Yeah.
Absolutely. As you're kind of moving that
I
way.
think she'll like put a hand on like Rory's shoulder, ask him if he's doing all right before she does.
Well, I seem to have fallen unconscious again during things. And you seem to have saved us again, so. Puts a hand on your shoulder. Seem to be doing well as long as you're here.
Well, I definitely couldn't have done it without the three of you. I'll be back. I think this is bothering Jove.
As you go to leave, you hear the sound of a large hammer hit the floor in the back, and you hear a door open. The stone dwarf sees you about to make your exit and looks to the party and fought well. Good for city folk. So he kind of eyes each one of you, scanning from kind of over to you, Freddy, down to you, Jove, back up at you, Rornak, and then lastly to you, Jasper, where he holds his gaze the longest.
Well, it was an honor to fight alongside you.
We're not all city folk there. Kinda. Nod his head.
He looks to you and kind of nods. You fight for gold or for glory?
That directed toward Jove or just kind of the party in general?
Just kind of the party in general.
Oh, then the answer is yes.
He's right. Why have one when you can have both?
Glory's underrated. Overrated. Glory breaks a clan. Ask my kin. And there's kind of just like this, it's a really weird kind of accent. It's like incredibly deep. It's very simple. It's broken. It's almost like common as like a second language in this one. Just simple kind of ga. And his voice almost sounds like actual rocks clattering against his teeth. He's just this impressive specimen. Jove, would you roll me an insight?
Yeah. Ooh, that's not going to be good. That's an insight of 4.
Insight of 4? There's something about the Stone Dwarf clan that rings a bell for you, but you can't remember exactly why at this moment. Still kind of shook from your earlier bouts. The vision still ringing through as he talks about his clan for just a moment.
Jove is going to switch to Dwarvish and respond. Well, I've done a good amount of traveling in my days and met a good many solid dwarf, though I haven't seen much like you. I don't think I'm aware of your clan.
You speak our tongue. And it's, as soon as you switch to Dwarvid, it's suddenly his sentences come together with a lot more flow to them, less staccatoed as he speaks to you. You speak our tongue. It's an interesting trait for a halfling kind. Do you still travel?
Oh, I do a little less nowadays. Family businesses in logistics of sorts, moving things here and there. That's how I got to meet so many interesting people. But you know, the way the world's been changing a little bit, and I happen to be in Flan at the wrong time, so I've been making my way in Mulemaster. But I get out whenever I can. I'm more of a, well, you know anything about halfling, cities aren't really our natural environment.
Do you accept work from others? You speak our tongue. You seem to be traveled well. And as long as it is not another chimera, you fight exceptionally well.
Well, I mean, I got a couple of good shots in, but I appreciate the words of wisdom there. Why, yes, in fact, even though we took on our own names, all of these folks here, we've got a little bit of an adventuring group here together, so we do take on jobs and we go in and out of the city as it takes us. Why is there you got a job or something you're looking need to be done?
Yes, I have a letter to my brother. He's king of our clan, the Ledwa Khazar. We have not spoken in many years. He fights for glory. I fight for gold. One spends far better than the other.
Hmm.
However, dwarven lives are not infinite, and we have spent too much time battling apart, me for gold, him for glory. If you still travel, I would make a request that you deliver a letter from me to my brother beneath the mountains. The Earthspur Mountains. And the Falling Stone Mine is where my clan calls home. Though, the nobles of this city do not recognize it as such.
As your home?
The Falling Stone Mine is a special place. Long ago, my clan drove out worshippers of an elemental god. They worshipped the vast secrets and wealth within the caves. We vowed to defend it for all of eternity, the Ledwa Khazar's noble oath. However, the mine is quite valuable. Lots of iron deposits, mithril in its deepest parts. Incredibly valuable for the city of Mulemaster. My clan protested opening up the mines for the city of Mulemaster. It's our ancestral homes. This being a problem for us for over the last century. It is a mistake. Nothing good comes from my homeland.
Well, it seems like Mole-Masters take that whole city motto of taking what you can when you can pretty seriously, so sorry that's negatively impacted your people, but I would, to be honest, I was going to be making my way over to the Earthspur Mountains sooner rather than later, so I'd be happy to drop by. And now, this being your estranged brother and all, is there, I guess, is your brother the type of person with a considerable temperament to just take on a little halfling that knows a bit of Dwarvish, saying that he's bringing a letter from his brother?
My brother wants a glorious death. To fight and to die for our clan. I find it to be a hollow existence, but if it has my seal, he will see you. I wish to reconcile with him before our notably hard lives end. I am also afraid that if the miners of Mulemaster keep pressing into the mine, they will disrupt what is buried there.
Yeah, it seems like all sorts of weird stuff has been happening lately. Last thing we need is a bunch of Mole-Masterites going in and fiddling with stuff that they shouldn't. So, no, I'd be happy to. Do you mind if I ask your name? I'm sure Stone Dwarf is just a moniker. I'm Joe Featherfoot, by the way. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
It is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance, Jove. I am called Boone Ledwa Khazar. of the Ledwakazar clan. And he sticks a hand out for you.
Jove will clap it mightily.
And his skin does actually feel like stone. It's not just a cosmetic thing. It feels like you are shaking hands with an actual boulder. And there's not often that you feel in a handshake that you get overpowered, but his grip is just crushing. Doesn't even look like he's trying to hurt you, just simply from the stone of his hands and his just innate strength. Just. My brother is Iron Ledwakazar, the current king of the Ledwakazar clan. Give me a moment. And you see, you have a couple minutes to chat amongst yourselves as Boone goes to write and seal the letter for his brother, Iron.
Seems like fighting for glory was worth something, huh? If he's king.
Wait, Freddy, do you speak Dwarvish too?
No, I don't. That was Mikey saying that then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, wow, I didn't know that Freddy spoke Dwarvish. Shit. Thought it was
No,
somebody
infernal,
speaks another language.
Common and
Elvish.
Elvish. That's it. Yes, of course.
He's
These
Elvish,
bards
that's it.
always have to know Elvish. You
Well, then
wouldn't be
that's
able to
me
do-
saying it.
Well, I know y'all probably didn't catch much of that, but it sounds like Boone here is going to give us a letter to pass off to his brother, the king of the Falling Star Mine. So,
Job, you would know that the Falling Stone Mine is located in the Earthspur Mountains, which is kind of the border mountains to the east of Mulmaster. Rornak, you would know that the Earthspur Mountains provide kind of the edge of territory for the Glacier of the White Worm. That the Earthspur Mountains kind of mark the natural boundaries between like Mulmaster land and the Glacier of the White Worm and heading towards the monastery.
Joe, when you turn around from that conversation, you notice that Jasper made herself scarce and is no longer there.
gotcha.
As Boone is writing this letter, you hear another door open up, and you see the tight-pantsed, fluffy, frilly shirts, like big hat, coiffed hair, double rapiers. Andrix Sitzorn walks out from his room and begins to kind of swagger back and forth. And are you the ones causing all of this commotion? I would have thought that. Huh, I was out there with how loud it got.
And who are you?
A fine jest, whoever you are. And he pushes past you and dips down and gets like a drink of water from the pool. Ah, yes. My ritual is complete. Time to go. Make the money, as they say. Toodaloo, little fighters. As he swaggers, and you see, as he's moving forward, it looks as if the color is starting to drain from him. What is kind of this nice kind of golden tan that he has, which is not very Mulmaster at all, considering the vast majority of people are very pale. You can see that the color is quickly draining. You see he almost takes like kind of a half stumble and spins it off and puts a hand up the wall and kind of takes like a deep breath in this like very theatrical pose before swaggering on forward towards his portcullis. You can hear a number of crowds. Jasper, you hear Darmov announce, "All right, let's get another fight going. On one side, one of the champions of the pit, Andrix Satorn, taking on whatever beast we have fucking left." She kind of solemnly drinks from like her mug, and you see Andrix Satorn like swaggers in. You're keeping a real keen eye on him. You can tell. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, Jasper.
I would love that.
Hey, good luck killing whatever kind of dog or whatever they got.
Phase.
Yeah, you see him swagger in, and he looks as swaggery as he always does. The portcullis gates on the opposite side open up, and you see a pair of large boars enter in. Each one, dripping in some sort of fluids. They're large, coarsely haired bodies, these huge tusks, these lumbering, just masses of muscle in this almost fiery looking pig form. And Audric Satoran kind of scoffs and, really? Boars in the boar pit, you have outdone yourself, And you see him kind of, there's this kind of like clutching towards his stomach as more of the color kind of drains away from him. And Darmav? Huh. And you hear people are, chanting, some are yelling out, Audric Satorn, other people are sneering, and you can see people are placing bets on Audric Satorn, with very little payouts. As he kind of turns to face these boars and turns around and pulls out his rapiers, but you see one kind of comes out too far. His fingers can't seem to grab it, and it kind of pulls out. It's like he's losing grip strength on it as one shoots out, and he looks almost kind of puzzled by it before sweeping down and picking it up and doing kind of like a quick Zoro Z as he faces down these boars, and they come charging at him from across. The rest of you waiting for Boone can hear like the snarls of these boars, that like really loud, just but so much bassier due to the size of these things. And the first one runs, and Audric steps to the side and like slices part of it with seemingly little effort. The second one comes in, and he like goes to turn from it, but his body just seems slower as it knocks him to the side and knocks one of the rapiers out of his hand. He goes into like a one-handed position and tries to put his hand up, and you see him kind of clutch over again. Just, as these boars turn back around, they both charge him, this time almost simultaneously in tandem, and he is only able to barely move back in time as they collide into each other. He tries to make a stab at it, and one of the boars turns its head, and the tusk of this gores into the side of his leg, and you see Audric's blood begin to dot the floor of the bloody boar. You see Darmov sits up and leans in closer, the sour expression of hers starting to turn into one of enjoyment, as Audric backs up and tries to scramble to go get his other rapier, but the boars are on him immediately. This time he is not so lucky, as he's trying like holding on to one leg, one rapier, reaching out for the other one. You see him get slammed by one of these boars. You can see it pierce through his side as he is thrown across the boar pit, slamming into the statue in the center. Like the hollow eyes of it just kind of peering down as you hear with a sickening thung of this brass statue. You can see part of it kind of bent in from the impact as he weakly tries to get up. You can see the fear in his eyes as these boars run at him, and what should be an easy move to the side, there's nowhere for him to go as they and slam into it. The crowd erupts into roars of absolute barbaric laughter as you watch Audric Satorn is gored up against this statue, his screams coming out in a high trill as his other rapier drops to the ground, the hat falling, being torn apart. As the boars kind of pull back, they still have bits of Audric stuck to their tusks as it rips out through there, and they are almost stuck in like a tug of war, pulling back on his intestines as he just kind of shudders violently before the rest of the pail comes out. And you can see the insides of his organs are a bleached color.
Ooh.
Going back as this is happening, Boone returns. You can hear a number of like boars squealing. the crowd is cheering. Whatever is happening is you can hear a sickening slupping of just bodily mass being protruded into. Even from Belize here in the portcullis as the stone dwarf returns and hands you, Jove, a letter. It is some rough parchments with a singular, like, gray wax seal of, like, just a simple hammer over a falling star. And is sealed that way. You can still feel the heat of the freshly pressed wax. And on one side, in Dwarven, it says, "To my brother, Iron." Here you are, Jove.
Well, Boone, I'm happy to be of help here. Do you want me to come back and let you know that it's been delivered after we do the deed, or what?
Yes, please return and tell me what has become of my kin and clan. I will, of course, provide payment for this service. My season's winnings upon its successful reconciliation with my brother. I find gold does not soothe the soul the way it used to. There's just kind of this heavy, deep set look. He's got these dark gray eyes, and Jove, there's just this very masculine sadness that comes off, this inability for this dwarf to express what he's really feeling at this time.
Well, something I love about our peoples, halflings and dwarves, is we seem to care about this whole family thing a little more than humans and some of the other races that are running around this rock. So, I don't know your brother, I don't know your dynamic, but if your people are like any of the others that I've run into, I have hope that reconciliation can be had. Power family, with kinship, that bond, forged in fire and cannot be broken so easily.
You have a strong heart, Jove. I am glad that you entered the fighting pit.
Likewise, or else I would probably be a char mark on some sand out there. So thanks for your help, and I'll make sure that you're one of our first stops once we're back in town.
Thank you, Jove. I will excuse myself. And he switches back over and looks to the rest of you. Thank you. Well fought. Again, we will see. And he just kind of nods to the rest of you. Extends one last hand out to you, Jove.
Claps it with a good hard eye contact.
Once again, you feel that kind of crushing of your fingers. You feel like if you were any less strong, he might actually hurt you. But he lets go, and you see him head back to his quarters down the hall. Party. Where would you like to go? Jasper, this whole time you were just watching, I'm not sure, you tell me how Jasper feels watching.
Watching Audric get, like, just savaged by a couple boars, she had a horrible grin across her face for the duration of that. And when she sees the last light leave his eyes, she saunters out of the Bloody Boar to attend to other business. First thing is check the alley and see if that glove is still in there.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Sure. That is just a 10.
You do find that glove. Same place you left it. You can see, however, the vast majority of that glove has been completely bleached out.
Yeah. She's gonna try to find just like some spare cloth or a rag or something in her pack if that's something that she
Yeah.
might have. And she'll wrap it up tight and store it apart from like her foodstuffs and like things that she wouldn't want to meet the same fate.
Absolutely. You've recovered your glove.
Beautiful. I think she's gonna make her way towards the Black Blade.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be making your way towards the Black Blade. The rest of the party, with letter in hand, what would you like to do next?
Collect our winnings.
Collect my money.
Absolutely.
That's a great idea.
You all head back, and you see the half-orc that is running the betting booth. And you can see that while there's a number of gold on there, there is one devastatingly large sack of gold. Rornak and Jove, you guys get your gold back, and 200 for a grand total. Add 300 gold pieces to each one of your bags. Freddy, you receive a bag filled with 2,000 gold pieces.
Yay.
However, as you are handed that amount of gold, everybody go ahead and make me a perception check.
11.
17.
Not nat 20.
Not nat 20 and 17. You notice as soon as Freddy has that gold, there are many, many eyes on you. You see a number of individuals reach in, begin to reach for things underneath their clothing. You can feel this whole bar is now turned on to an already beat up party with a whole lot of gold on them. And definitely, you look over and you see Darmov staring straight at you as she speaks something over to Devamari. You can see that there is a section of movements as a number of individuals seem to be making their way from one side of the ring over to where you are with all of your winnings. What would you like to do?
Hey, Freddy,
Uh,
we're getting the eyes.
Yeah, you can talk to me, but I'm just gonna go invisible.
I agree. It looks like we have some trouble coming.
No,
I don't think they
I'm
take
in-
too
I'm
kindly
invisible.
to our payout.
And as
Like-
this is saying, Freddy, you and Freddy, the gold lever goes invisible, and you can see a number of individuals start looking through the crowd with those 17 to that 20. You can see that Devamari begins casting some sort of spell, blue light beginning to emanate from their eyes as the individuals start to begin frantically pushing their way towards you all. Now that Freddy has gone invisible, what would you like to do?
So is there other exits than like the main one?
You know that there is a gladiator entrance and exits that goes out through the side, but as far as you're aware of, there's only that one main entrance out of here. You know that there's those two. One that leads down to the gladiator that leads out to the side street, and another that is the front door that you all came in.
Okay, where does the crowd seem to be looking for me in?
You can see that individuals are like moving through the crowd, randomly striking out at people. Some are shoving into like open areas where there's a space where somebody might be. You can see Devamari is clearly in the middle of some sort of ritual casting.
And where is this taking place on the map?
On the map, this is on that first floor, so surrounding up and around the fighting pits. So this is where like everybody, there's standing room that looks over into the fighting pit. There is a staircase that leads to kind of like a balcony area. At the north part of it is Darmov's kind of throne, the door being The front door being exactly opposite of that, and then going down the stairs into the fighting pits, into the gladiators. You know that there is a second set of stairs that lead out towards that back alleyway.
Do we have a map of that floor? I don't think. I
No,
see
there is not a map of that floor.
that. Okay. I'm going to try and put a wall between me and the person casting, and start making my way to the side entrance.
Go ahead and roll me stealth with advantage.
Uh, 21.
21. Yeah, you start moving through this crowd. You can see individuals scanning, looking out for you. You like hide behind the wall, and you make it into kind of the gladiator, the gladiator pits, their kind of area. Jove and Rornak, as 1 minute you are talking to each other, Freddy just unceremoniously goes invisible and is thump. You have no idea where he has gone. You can see a number of these cudgel-wielding kind of thugs are making their way, looking around, especially with your guys' good perception, looking around for Freddy and that huge bag of gold. You guys know that the front entrance is in Terrible Bar behind you, but you have no idea where Freddy is. He has disappeared.
Joe's gonna take a page out of Rornak's book and kind of lock eyes with Rornak. Jove is just gonna say, "Spare some coin," and he's gonna get a handful of gold and just kind of shower it up into the air to kind of start some chaos and hopefully slip towards the front door if that happens.
Make deduct off 12 gold pieces.
Okay.
As you reach in and throw this gold out, and it clatters, and you see just a rush of people start swarming these gold coins, obscuring you from the eyesight of these cudgel-wielding individuals. Rornak, you see Jove throw a bunch of coins out, and just like you did once upon a time, you see the people of Molemaster scrambling over one another, pushing each other, trying to collect these gold pieces that have now hit the floor.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Nice. Well, Jove, great minds think alike. Let's go. And I'm gesturing towards the door. Rornak will throw another few coins into that crowd as well on his way out, but he's gonna make it towards the entrance / exit of this place.
Mark off 6 gold pieces as you take a handful and throw it back into the crowd. Another wave as people are rushing you here. Someone's throwing out gold coins! People start scrambling all over each other as you guys run out through the front entrance. Freddy, make me another stealth check with advantage.
Okay. Go fit in it. There's 22.
22, yeah, you make your way down the stairs through the gladiator pits, like holding area, out through the doors, and there is a single thug who is like in a small chair sitting behind this door. You can see it's got like the bar over it. As you make your approach there, Jove and Rory, you guys get out through the front door and immediately duck into an alley right around the sideways. You see Jasper folding something up, keeping it, throwing it into her kind of knapsack as you enter into the alleyways right in front of this kind of door to the second half, into the gladiator pits. As you all kind of reconvene on this moment, Freddy, there's a single guard and a barred door, although you are on the barred side, so you can clearly open it up by removing it. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull the bar out, and he hasn't noticed me yet.
He doesn't notice you until you start pulling the bar up. as you like remove the bar and it pulls up. It goes, "What the fuck?" And
I'm gonna hold it and kind of like make it look like it's floating like magically, just like ooh. But I'm not gonna make any noise. I'm just gonna like wave it in front of him, and then I'm just gonna like throw it across the room.
go ahead and roll me a performance check for
Alright.
spooky wood lifting.
It's a 20.
This
Whoa.
dude sees this and sees it like you move it towards him. He like backs up and then you like throw it at the door and it bounces off and he starts running down the steps away from it. Just
So, yeah, once he's
Ghostwood!
I'm
Ah!
gonna go out the door quietly and then like slam it on my way out.
You guys all, as you see Jasper, and Jasper, you finish putting that away and see Rory and Jove running basically at full speed out through this alleyway. The door slams open. You hear another guard like screaming about Ghostwood running down the steps as the door slams closed. As you all kind of run into each other, Scooby-Doo style.
Oh, you guys all right?
Yeah, Freddy, you run straight out into Jasper, just poof, and you feel this invisible force hit you, Jasper, as you see your party member just.
Fuck. What the
And
shit
then-
was that?
And then you can like faintly hear my footsteps just like running into the distance. Then a little bit of gold jingling. So you might be able to figure it's me.
The gold
Like a
jingling.
lot of bit of gold jingling.
Yeah.
Like a lot of gold.
I think with that, she kind of pieces together what's going on, and she'll follow the jingling.
But yeah, I'm
Oh,
just
after
gonna
the ghost-
run in the direction of the ox pit.
Yeah, you guys are all running, following the sound of. There's a couple points in different parts of the city where Jasper, with your bad perception, you lose it, but Jove, with your much better perception, are able to hear the large jingling of Freddy running. You run for the entirety of, I believe, invisibility lasts for 10 minutes. Running out, making your way to the ox pit where you see Freddy finally reappears in the city with a very large bag of gold still on him. As you make your way back to the ox pit. Yeah, it runs out like just a couple blocks away from the ox pit.
It is 1 hour.
It's
So
1
I'm just
hour.
gonna
Oh,
go
okay.
around.
And you make it all the way
Yeah.
to the ox pit. Still invisible.
But yeah, once I get inside the ox pit, I'll become visible.
Foop. And Freddy appears right in the doorway as you guys run and catch up to him. Jove, you having the hardest time, being a little bit slower. You see, Jasper and Rory are like right there. Really, in some parts you swear they might have passed, and once you figured out where you guys were going, and then a few moments later, there's Jove bringing up the caboose.
Jasper stops at the door with her like bloody dragon head, not wanting to ruin the floors with blood. She'll look at Freddy and say, "Hey, would you mind counting mine out and bringing it out to me? I don't want to make a mess."
How much did you get?
I thought you were good with numbers. I don't know. Give me
Oh,
half.
you told me I'm not allowed to negotiate the money.
All right. Well, I gave you like 500 gold.
Okay. So
Say
you,
550.
so you want 1,000?
1100 if you don't mind.
Hey, I don't know if that's how much you gave me.
If, just do what feels right, bud. I feel like you earned it just as much as I did. So if you want to go halvesies, let's go halvesies.
Yeah, you get 1,000.
All right.
As Freddy goes through and it's not a short process to count 1,000 gold pieces. Crewmech goes over and, well, goddamn! Seeing you count out, that's this very large amount of gold. Guess the adventuring business is good. How well is Fergus paying you?
Freddy goes, 20.
Crewmate just has this kind of confused expression. All right. Did you want a drink to go with all this gold?
40.
40 drinks? Well, if you're made out of money, sure.
Let's start out with 4 there, Crew Meg, and we'll see if we make ourselves up to 40.
Yeah, absolutely, Jove. What can I get for you guys?
60.
I'm feeling particularly dwarvish tonight. I've been enjoying that whiskey you've been giving me. Is there any other dwarvish tipples out there that you think I might like? You know what? It's not for celebration, so if it's a little on the ritzier side, I don't mind paying.
Ritzier side from Dwarven. Give me a second, as he goes in the back, and I think I have just the right thing for this. He brings you, well, it's not entirely dwarvish, but it is on the ritzier side of things, not too terrible far. There are dwarves in Cormier. And he pulls out, it's this, decanter of what appears to be, a bright red liquid, and then swirling through it, this glimmer of white. Almost kind of like a candy cane color aesthetic to it. This right here is called Cherry Fire. It's a mint wine that's been mixed in with some other liquors. Packs a hell of a punch. It's not cheap, but if you're celebrating, this would be the perfect thing for it, Jove.
Well, I typically don't do peppermint liquors, but you know what? Fuck it. If you're recommending it, pour me one there, crewmate.
A halfling who doesn't like minty liquor, then why do you guys make so much mint beer?
Well, I'm not much into that myself. I'm a well-traveled man, so my tastes have expanded beyond your typical halfling. So, yeah, you know how it is.
Sure. Jasper, you want a bundle to wrap that thing up there instead of standing in the doorway the whole time? I'm just gonna say it that a person standing in the doorway with a decapitated dragon head covered in blood does not make for good business.
Yeah, that's sensible. If you got something for me, I'd appreciate it.
Rornak, go in the back. You know where we keep the canvases.
Alrighty. We'll do then. Oh,
Leans
and
over.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, sorry.
where do we store this? Right there. Okay.
You run back into the cellars, and there's a bunch of canvas and other kind of linens and stuff from different packages that they've received over time. Kind of like, a never-ending thing of plastic bags. You take one, you put in another one, and you just keep collecting them for infinity. It's a lot like that. So you bring it back out. You guys get the dragon head all wrapped up and everything, get you out of the rain. You all come back to sit down as Freddy gets to... Where are you at right now, Freddy?
Oh, I'm at the bar counting money.
Yeah, how many have you counted?
So I get to, and I go 100 and...
As it gets to 100...
Where was I at? Oh, wait! And I'm just gonna, shove it all in one pile again. I'm gonna take out my book. And I'm going to start casting a ritual.
What do you cast?
For 10 minutes, I start studying, because it's the first time I've done this one. But I start studying, and I cast an Unseen Servant. So,
give me some flavor.
as I'm, reading my book and, doing the ritual, a little purple sphere is just in front of me, kind of, growing like a bubble. And then at 10 minutes, it just pops. And then Freddy goes, okay, that should do it. And he closes the book, And then just all of a sudden, gold just starts floating from the pile into another pile, one by one. He goes, Jasper, when that gold stops moving, it should be 1,000. As he just gives the mental command to his servant to just move 1,000 gold from this pile
That's
into
amazing.
a pile here.
And you watch as bink, 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 and just a very mechanical motion. You see gold move from one pile to another. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As it begins to stack your money to the side. Crewmeg returns. You have your wrapped up dragon head. You've all got your kind of favorite kind of spot in the Ox Pit Tavern. And Crewmeg brings out this very like candy cane looking drink and has bam, 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 4 of them right there. Can I have everybody make Constitution saving throw?
Oh! 21.
21.
A regular 20.
20.
9.
9. And Jove, that's a 23.
I got a 6.
A 6. Jove, true to your word, you do fucking hate minty alcohol. It is the one thing about you that is not very halfling at all, is your dislike of minty flavored things. Rornak, you are on the same boat as Jove. This is not a Rornak. It has all the wrong flavors in it. There's it says cherry, but where? Where? It just tastes like fire. It's just it's like doing a Rumple Mints, basically. Just awful. However, the laps. Oh, this is money. This is great. Where have they been hiding this the whole time? It goes
What was
down.
this
It's
one called
minty and refreshing. Like it warms you up. You know, you would think that having warmth in the belly after being lit on fire earlier today would not be the move, but honestly, it makes it so much more tolerable. It's a great drink.
What was it?
It's called a
again?
cherry fire.
Cherry fire.
It is a type of drink originating from Cormier. It is it's basically Rumple Mints in a mint wine that has a very slight cherry taste to it. And it is very, very minty, very like that kind of cool fire mintiness to it. Think of it almost kind of like it's kind of like schnapps.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds delicious.
And Jasper very much agrees with that assessment.
Oh. Well, folks, I think the whole Falling Star Mine thing just got a little more complicated now that we're out of there. Like I was saying, Boone wants me to bring over that letter, right, to the Falling Star Mines. Guess his brother's king and all that. And is intending on dying a glorious death, which sounds like squares with whatever that Hawk was telling me, if I'm remembering correctly. He was wanting us to do a little bit of reconnaissance over there, so feeling a little torn about all this, to be honest, but I think once the day's out, I'm gonna get up in the morning and I'll go and contact my my now peer in the Emerald Enclave, Yavendell, and let her know what's going on and see if things have gotten a little nastier up in the monastery of the Yellow Rose. And once our work is out with Crewmeg's weird buddy over there, maybe we can take a jaunt outside the city for a few days, stop by that Fallen Star mine, and who knows, maybe Ornak, you can show us whatever you call family up there.
Well, never did I think that I would go back there with anybody I've met here, but I guess The will of things work in strange ways. If that's where it takes us, then so be it. And I might show you a couple of true Rornac drinks while we're there.
Well, I would love that.
Do we want to have that audience with the Karamitrus before we do that, or do we want to save that for after?
Do all y'all remember how many more days we have left on this job with Crew Meg's buddy?
Just one, right? Is that correct, TM? Do we have 1 day left?
You were signed up for about 3 to 5 days, give
Oh,
or take.
okay.
So it
Gotcha.
could be the last day tomorrow. Could be 4. Maybe even 5.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm in no hurry to get out of the city, so I would be, that's really y'all's thing more than mine. Once there's formal invitations, I just try and keep quiet and let y'all do the talking. But I think if we're gonna be bound to Mulemaster, that stands to reason to go do that and see whoever is perverting your ways over there, Rornac, and causing some trouble. So we got a lot of things happening, so I don't think we need to drop everything and leave and go do this now. I just want to let y'all know that it sounds like we're pretty ripe and ready for when that time comes. We have a place. We've got an inn to go and talk to these folks. He says that his seal will get us a direct audience with his brother, the king. So, that's not nothing. But I'm operating off of old information too. Yavindel's the one that's actually gone up in them parts, so she might have some more for us. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Just want to make sure you guys all caught what was going on. I know not everybody speaks Dwarvish with the same fluency as I do, so that's what we got going on in Joe's part of the world.
Oh, by the way, TM, I
Yes.
think when Jasper had wrapped up the head, I think she asks Crew Meg if he wouldn't mind keeping it somewhere, like, behind the counter or, like, just somewhere else. Yeah.
What, like, for how long?
Oh, just for the night. It's taking up a lot of space. I don't want to get in anyone's way.
All right. I got a place to store this. Give me gold.
Yeah, she'll give him 5 gold.
He takes it, stores it away. Puts it in the cellars somewhere kind of dark and cool, not out and about. All right, yeah, come back whenever you want it.
Yeah, I'll grab it when I leave tonight.
Sure. A round of drinks for you all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
anything but that.
A round of drinks for the room.
Oh, for the whole room. All right, let's get them full sails a flowing. And you see, as soon as you say that, number of people raise their mugs, hey, give you a cheer.
Hey,
So, yeah, nod in their general direction and go back to her drink.
Absolutely. Crewman brings a round of full sails out for you all. Freddy, you feel the unseen servant finish its tasks and awaits you for further direction.
Yeah, you can just go now.
It,
Oh, wait. No, I can't see you, can I?
not physically. You can sense the magic, though.
I mean, just the idea that he's doing is gonna be good. Do a little dance.
Alright.
Can't see it, but I know that he has to do it, and that's
Yep.
enough for me.
You feel him doing just a nice little two-step. vaguely a song from another place. My heart, my achy breaky heart. Plays softly. It's ethereal, ephemeral, vaguely, rustic kind of sound goes off, and you feel it completes like a whole little dance, and then stops and awaits another command.
I'm just gonna ignore him.
And he just stands, doesn't make any noise, is just there until the spell runs out. Go ahead, everybody, give me another round of Constitution saving throws.
There we go.
So 12.
12,
17.
10.
15, 10,
11.
11. Yeah, for Jove, much better. Everybody else, for you, Rornak, definitely better. You're used to the full sail, though you wish it had all the other things that come with a Rornak. It just feels incomplete now. However, the Lat Twins, the Cherry Fire was better.
Yeah.
As you see other patrons receiving full sails as well, things start getting a little bit livelier. People come up, say thanks, chat for a bit, raise their mugs up to you, do a cheers for the person buying around for the bars. People just seem to generally be having kind of a good time, especially with free drinks being supplied.
I think Jasper sticks around for the initial, I don't know, wave of merriment. Maybe an hour or so, and then she'll call it a night. And before she leaves, I'll just turn to the table and say, "Thanks for joining me in that. It was a unique pleasure having a crowd cheer for us while we do our work for once."
Thanks for saving our asses.
Couldn't have done it without you. And she'll pat Jove on the shoulder and say, "I'm sorry, by the way, if I got a bit over enthusiastic."
Oh, you can tell Joe kind of takes a beat and says, "No, it's not. It's not you. Just when I went down there, lost consciousness. It was like I was somewhere else. I don't know if there was some crossover with me and Aquila, but let's just say, seeing that head afterwards, I don't know. It'd be like seeing any one of these fools' heads getting carried around. It just hit me raw. I should have said something at the time, but I know you didn't mean anything there. So you deserved your glory, and frankly, that thing would have toasted me to death and ripped me apart. So it deserved to have its head cut off. And you can tell he trying to get back into form. He pastes on a smile, but you've been around Jove long enough to know that this is forced, and he says, "Don't worry about it, Jasper. Had to be done, and if it wasn't you, it was gonna be me. So, yeah. You have a good night, okay?"
She, her eye contact lingers for a moment and nods. "Yeah, I'll be more considerate in the future. I hope you boys have a good night." And, yeah, she'll go collect the head from Krumeg and make her way out.
Yeah, absolutely. You collect the head. You give Kermeg another 15 gold pieces for all the drinks at the bar.
Yep.
And you head back out.
And another vibe for a tip, just 'cause we're friends.
And you get a big old grin from Krumeg as he hands back your dragon gives you a roadie
Awesome.
as you head back out to the night. I assume you're heading back towards the Black Blade.
Yes.
Absolutely. We'll get to that in a moment. The rest of you, an hour goes by, drinks are had, people are generally having a good time. There's some people playing card games in the back, but it's overall just a nice, easy night at the Oxpit Tavern. Freddy, you have the 1,000 gold on you now, with Jasper taking her half with her. The rest of you feeling real flush. Drinks got you feeling warm. It's just a pleasant, surprisingly pleasant evening in the city of Mulmaster.
Yeah, I think Jove just throughout the night, he's gonna kind of take it easy on the drinking. He's gonna break out his pipe and smoke, smoke some of that halfling pipe weed that he has, and just kind of relax and just kind of enjoy. Not sure if Freddy or Rornak are gonna stay around or leave, but either way, he's gonna kind of enjoy being alone in a crowd a little bit, and stay up later than he probably would. But he's not drinking super hard, just being there, enjoying the moment, and keeping his mind off things.
Absolutely, Joe. You light up the pipe and, blow clouds, take it easy on the drinking, just let the atmosphere just kind of be there, just being part of something, watching people coming in and out, watching some people go on like a first date, other people, regulars showing up for their spot that the stool almost conforms to their seat. You watch a pair of young sailor-looking dudes have to take a step outside after jawing at each other for about half an hour. You can hear the sounds of a scuffle, and then they both walk back in, bloodied lips, order some drinks, and buy each other around. Rornak and Freddy, what would you like to do for the rest of the evening? You can see Joe just kicking back, got his pipe out, looking ever the halfling.
I'm just gonna be sitting there just playing tunes, nothing too extravagant, and then I'll just have my special instrument just be making cool lighting effects like shapes, glowing shapes just kind of coming out from my instrument and just like going up and then falling down slowly.
And Rornak, what about you?
Rornak is actually going to get a room at the Ox Pit and retire a bit early, and before getting some rest, he'll just he'll meditate a little bit on the augury box, not really asking anything, but just more so kind of focusing and meditating on the actual monastery and just kind of mentally preparing himself if he does end up having to go back soon.
Yeah, you don't ask the box any questions, just have it on you in your lap as you meditate. You go through the breathing exercises and kind of just take stock of your physical presence, feeling all the muscles as they stretch and flex with your breathing. Looking back on your time at the monastery, thinking about the people that you know, the Grand Master of Flowers himself, the blueberry wine that you guys make and ferment up there, the cold of it, the clean air, so sharp as it comes in like the morning, the wind whipping through the monastery, creating almost this, in some places it creates almost like this flute, like, it's like blowing wind over like the neck of a bottle, or like a flute. And occasionally the monastery itself sounds like it has its own song as you just kind of meditate on it, thinking back on how it sits atop that mountain, the thousands of monks that over the last hundreds of years have carved out and expanded the monastery from a single building to one with multiple towers that touch the sky, that look out over the Bloodstone lands and out towards the Glacier of the Yellow Worm. You just kind of think on that, thinking of there's around like 750 or so monks that stay in the monastery like full time and just kind of take stock of your experiences there. The training, the meditating, the just constant tasks and hard work of it, and reflect on that life. Although they're at the very kind of corners of your minds as you go deeper into the meditation. You can't help but think of piercing green eyes, of stone-like tendrils hanging down from this completely alien-looking creature. You can't help but think of Vonquo. You can feel the scars across your body illuminate as these thoughts kind of invade and push in. You eventually stop as you can feel yourself slipping out of your meditation, focusing less on Ilmater and the monastery, more on what had been done to you and what feels like a different life. And you stop yourself as that kind of panic swells in your chest. You breathe and let go and move towards sleep. The night continues on. Rornak, sleep finally finds you. Jove, you see the crowd starts to die down. Freddy, you begin to feel kind of the ache in your fingers, especially on your still healing left hand. You feel like that pop goes through and like a ring finger as when the bones like sets and repops in place, and you let out a small yelp real fast as it clicks back in there, and you feel some mobility return to it. The bar begins to start to clear out. Individuals start leaving, paying their tabs. You see that group of sailors that got in a fight, carrying each other out towards the docks, singing some sort of shanty. Completely out of tune and against the grain of whatever you were playing, but a shanty nonetheless. Jove, do you get a room at the Oxbit?
Naturally, yeah, he does.
Naturally, absolutely. Your room is prepared for you as the night comes to a close. Freddy, I assume you're heading back to the Tower of Arcane Might?
Yeah, and I'm going to put like 500 gold in like a foot locker, so I'm not carrying this around with me.
Yeah, you return back to the Tower of Arcane Might, and when you enter your room, you can see that once again it has been refurbished. What used to be just simply a bunk is now like a full-sized actual bed. You know, 2 pillows, not just 1, 2 pillows.
Oh.
You see your fine clothing has its stand on it. Your desk, you've been brought in a larger desk of a dark wood. You can see that it has multiple shelves in it, and it even has like a back shelf for your many quills and inks, so that you can have a more of a workspace there. You know, a small boudoir, a chest at the foot of the bed, and you know, in it a singular key that locks and unlocks it. So you unlock the chest, place all of your 500 of your gold into it. Shut it, lock it, you now have a key for your own personal chest. You can see that a tapestry has been added to your room with the insignia of the cloaks. The same kind of pin that you keep on your person, signifying your membership, has been placed on your room and like hangs, adds a little bit of just warmth. It's like finally getting a throw rug for an apartment. Would you return back to it, store your gold, get into bed, and it's a pretty fucking good bed. There's room to stretch out on it. You can move side from side. The pillows are recently fluffed, and it smells clean. Not a half bad upgrade. the night comes to a close as you all find different places to sleep as we move over to Jasper. As you move across the city, instead of heading north towards the Goss Estates, you head south, closer to the South Road Keep, and right by its entrance, the entrance into the Zent Ghetto. There's a number of City Watch out there who appear to be roughing up a number of individuals heading in. You can see that there's another group of Zent Ghetto denizens who are watching closely and see you and give you a nod as you pass the gates. They almost kind of place themselves between you and the City Watch as they nod, and you're able to slip by unaccosted.
Yeah, she returns the nod.
You head back into the Black Blade. It's late at this point. You can see some crude oil lamps have been strung about. There's not really like a central fireplace here, like many of the bars you're used to, so there's just kind of this hazy orange light that just smothers this whole area as you enter in, and you can see a fair smattering of hunched over individuals, glowering over their drinks, and you see Ekwars casually just wiping down what appears to be a dented mug. Clearly has met somebody's face at an earlier point in time, as you can see the clear indent of someone's nose. And welcome to the Black Blade. Well, hey there, Jasper.
I'll be damned, Equaz. You don't have some fucking elven blood in you, do you? Because I swear to God, you never sleep.
What gave it away? The pointy ears or the impeccable grace and taste?
All of it, I guess, as a package.
Well, you're fucking right. You can get a lot more done when you don't need to fucking sleep. Helps running this whole shit show that much easier. No one can ever sneak up on you. Speaking of sneaking up, do we got some business to discuss?
A little bit of this and that. I happened to be by the Bloody Boar earlier tonight, and you wouldn't believe what I saw.
It wouldn't
This,
happen to have anything to do with the recently disgraced champion who got their insides ripped out of them by a pair of boars on what should have been a very easy fight.
Yeah, that was what it was. Really something to see.
Oh, well, that's just a crying shame. What a terrible thing to see the end of Adric Saton. Does in this like this terrible impersonation.
I'll drink to that.
That you will. Hey, boys, why don't you give us the room? You see that same number of individuals. Almost all of them stand up. 2 individuals have to be kind of grabbed and, hey, get the fuck out. Oh, what are you fucking talking about? I pay my gold. Get the fuck out. And suddenly there are 3 these kind of burly looking dudes who, there's this kind of rough looking sailor with a large beard, probably in his mid 40s, as he tries, stands up and looks like he's about to swing, sees that there are a number of individuals, and alright, and finishes off his drink and heads out as the rest of the individuals leave you and Ekwars alone in the shoddy bar known as the Bloody Blade. Or the Black Blade, sorry.
So I know that you had something waiting for me, but before we get to that, she kind of gestures towards the wrapped head she's got over her shoulders. Any chance you got a discreet smith that you know who might be able to do some work for me?
Yeah, I know a lot of discreet things in a lot of places. Depends on what kind of work it is. You, gonna unwrap that present or what?
Yeah, she'll scoot her stool back, and place it on the stool and unwrap it.
Ah, fucking gross.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. You can see why I wrapped it up.
Yeah, that actually might make this bar fucking dirtier, which is an actual fucking feat. Looking at this, I couldn't find anybody to make a weapon out of this, but dragon teeth, and he kind of lifts kind of the lips of this dragon out. Now these can be made in a number of useful potions. I might know a guy.
Oh, interesting. Uh, yeah, if they can't be made into weapons, that sounds good enough to me.
Yeah, as you can see, this isn't a fully sized adult dragon. It's hard to make weapons out of anything that's not full grown. See, the problem is that you just don't have enough material, and dragon is notoriously hard to work with. If you don't access it just right, especially with their natural resistances to stuff, especially smithing a red dragon like this one, fucking nigh impossible. Now, if it was like a black dragon, you could do some stuff with it with some chemical processes, but that's still a tricky thing to pull off from anybody who doesn't have experience working with dragon bone. Much easier to use the teeth and other organs on this to make some potions of varying different strengths and abilities.
Well, that would be great. I was also maybe thinking, I don't know if there's enough skin here, but I'm in dire need of a new pair of gloves. I happened to get a very dangerous substance on one of mine, so I had to get rid of them.
I can only imagine.
Speaking of, she pulls out the wrapped glove. You probably don't want to touch what's in here, but if you wouldn't mind getting rid of this for me, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, sure. And you see, and he tosses it onto one of the oil lamps, and you see it before catching a light, and it burns. You can see the oil lamp kind of like breaking from the heat. It's this awful kind of pale yellowish color and smell to it. There you go, problem solved.
You know, simple solutions for simple problems. But yeah, if there's enough skin on this for gloves, that would be terrific.
I'll see what can be done for that one. To be honest, the head itself is probably worth the price it is to get the potions done. If you don't mind me doing the heavy lifting, I can get you a couple potions in a few days' times. It's gonna take a minute to brew these, and I gotta find a certain somebody in a certain place. I know this gnome on the other side of the moon sea. Hopefully, he's still kicking around. Might be able to lead me in the right direction.
I'm gonna trust your judgment on that one.
Yeah, and he packs it up and goes and like, all right, well, let me store this, and I believe I owe you something. He wraps it up and does a couple knocks. The stairs beneath the bar open up, and he walks on down. You hear kind of a shuffling, the sound of someone else's voice down there, just barely audible with your 9 in perception. And he comes back up with those pair of dark gray silk-looking slippers and places them on the bar. Well, I'm sure it's no mistake that Audric found his end to what should have been an easy fight. Let me ask, how pale did he look as he walked out onto that field? Come on, give me the scoop. How'd you pull it off?
By the time he got out there, his skin was white as milk. He fumbled his swords pretty bad, and one nick turned into 2 nicks, and they were stretching his organs out before too long. Which also had the same milky white color to him.
Yeah, real nasty side effect of a pale tincture. So how'd you get him to drink it?
He thought he received a gift from a beautiful lady that was wishing him luck on his next battle, but turns out it was not intended for luck.
Prideful fucking idiot. Never accept random drinks from people that you've never met before. Idiot. Well, serves him fucking right.
Cheers to that.
And he grabs that dented mug and another one from behind. This one really nice glass, like an actual like crystal glass and everything. And he reaches behind the bar and pours some dark blue, almost black liquid into each one. And fucking cheers to that.
I hope they're all that easy.
You clink glasses and take a deep drink, and it's this very anise tasting, very like black or licorice, almost like a Jaeger to it. It's dark and thick and heavy. Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Would love to. Woof. 13.
13. You are able to stop yourself from coughing this back up. It is a horrific experience, and you immediately start to feel the strength of it. That just immediate rush of flesh to your face. And you see Ekwars just brings it on down, gently places his glass down, and pushes over the slippers of spider climbing to you.
Been a pleasure doing business with you. And that other thing you had me keeping my eye on, we're making progress. I should have news for you soon.
Good, I was just about to ask you how finding out who's peddling all that fucking silk route. Lost 3 guys this week alone to it. It's a nasty business having holes in your stomach being open up like that.
Yeah, I actually have a couple names. I don't know if you have the resources to do some extra investigating on the side, but there's this monk named Ovan, who seems to be a friend of Talius Karamitru.
Ah, the fucking Zora?
Yeah.
Their fucking estate is literally like right over there. They keep it real close to the South Road Keep because they're in charge of taxes.
I see.
Yeah, you best be fucking careful. Karamitru is, they're Zora and Azora like anyone else, but they're even less warm than no regular nobles. You know what I'm saying? From what I hear about Thylius Karamitru, you gotta be mindful of that guy. He's real persuasive, and not just because he's a fancy schmancy fucking noble, not because he's a young Zora. And he kinda leans in. I've heard rumors. I don't know anything about this monk, but that Thylius and the other Karamitrus, there's rumors that they've got powers over the mind. Now, I'm not talking like a cloak spell or some shit like that. I'm not talking about, a magical object or some shit like that. I've just heard stories that he just influences people, Doesn't matter who they are. Always had a following, Used to get in some real big trouble, but could always pay for it. I'd heard that he'd taken a trip out of the city, but I once heard that he was able to convince this girl to walk through the streets of Mulemaster without any fucking shoes on, just to prove that she cared about him, that she would walk through anything. You know how fucked up that is? To make somebody walk the entire length of Mulemaster without any fucking shoes on?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if she had feet left after that.
Yeah. And I don't know. There's not enough money and not enough gravitas and charisma in the whole fucking world to make me walk through the streets of Mulemaster barefoot unless I fucking had to. Hell, it's one of the biggest problems here is making sure everybody's got fucking shoes. So the fact that he was able to convince, and not just any girl, but like, well off, well-to-do, somebody who might even been on their way to becoming a Zora, convince them to walk through the city. I don't know, it sounds fucks to me. You be careful.
Yeah, sounds like a nasty piece of work. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, it's just rumors, that's all of what I've heard, but rumors, well, that's family business.
Don't I know it? Well, you'll be hearing more rumors from me soon. She claps the mug down on the bar and collects her slippers and makes her way out.
Absolutely. You head back to the Goss Estates with your new slippers of spider climbing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think before she makes her way out of the ghetto, she'll swap her boots out for them, and they'll probably need attunement, I imagine.
They do
Um,
indeed require attunement.
Fuck it. She'll spend the time walking around to attune to them. She wants to just test them out, run across a couple, just
You
have a bit of fun.
Yeah, you immediately throw on the slippers of spider climbing, and you walk your way out. And as you get towards the Goss Estate, you take kind of a detour and walk around. After about an hour of walking, you just feel them shape to your feet. Suddenly, it feels almost like you're not wearing shoes. And you walk up to this kind of two-story building, and you just put your foot on it, and then you put your next foot out. And you still feel the pull of gravity, obviously, but you do stick to the side. And with your same movement speed as you are walking on the ground, you have a climbing speed equal to your walking speed of 40 feet. And it allows you to move up, down, and across a vertical surface and upside down along ceilings, leaving your hands free as you walk up this building and get to kind of the roof. And you kind of look over, and you can see the Bay of Mulemaster out towards the west. You can see the tall Tower of the Drake, where the High Blade resides. Right next to it, the Tower of Blades. Not nearly as tall or as spindly, a much more solid building where many different blades call home in one of the most heavily defensive parts of the city. And then even at night, you can see this long, dark, oppressive, tower, almost the spire of a large, hand reaching up towards the sky. Not taller than the Tower of the Wyvern, of course, but still an imposing building nonetheless that is the Church of Banes, the Tower of the Black Lord. As you kind of look on this kind of rooftop access with your new boots of spider climbing, or slippers of spider climbing.
Yeah, I feel like as she's currently drenched in probably now dry blood, she is a particularly dark silhouette as she takes her time getting home, running across rooftops.
Give me one stealth check and one acrobatic check.
Okay. A stealth check of 13 and acrobatics of 18.
You move your way through the city, going from rooftop to rooftop, making a bit of noise as your feet hit the other roofs with a bit of a thud as you jump from rooftop to rooftop. Some places, running, jumping onto a wall, and then continuing the run, really just getting a feel for this. And your jumps are fantastic. You eventually make your way back to the Goss Estate. And instead of having to climb this time, you simply walk up the tree, over the tree, and hop down with your slippers of spider walking before heading back to your area of your tower, removing kind of the false chimney wall and heading back inside. To Kirk, who is there doing some sort of drow needlepoint, in just complete darkness. Just, oh hey.
Hi, Cook. Oh,
You smell
What
like
would you-
iron, burnt hair, booze. 3 different kinds of booze.
yeah, it's been a long night. Would you believe I, she kind of strikes a pose. Killed the Chimera?
No, I wouldn't, but you know what? I'm gonna take your word for it anyways.
Oh, well, that's kind of you. How you doing? Everything here good?
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet on the on the front lines, I got some more books I pulled up from the library like you asked for, the thing with the girl and all that good stuff. Your brother's been involved in his classes, Zoagas, doing his whole businessman thing, been holed up in his office, with all the fucking ingots of all sorts of rare metals and shit in there.
Right.
Yeah, it's fucking weird for me, but, more power to him. Then your mother's just been coordinating with, the other Gosses, setting up that date with Andric, putting out a feeler for all the different art galleries, just dumb Zora and Zora stuff.
Nothing ever fucking changes.
Nah, not really. But, nice new
remind me.
shoes.
Oh, thank you. She realizes she's still in her disguise voice. It was a reward for doing such good work around the city.
Her eyes kind of narrow. Good work, huh?
Well, good to some. Depends who you ask.
I'm sure there's somebody who's probably in huge disagreement with what you consider good work, but probably for the best if I don't ask too hard, right?
Yeah, it's probably for the best, yeah.
Alright, let's get you fucking cleaned off. You smell less bad than you have in the past, but by no means do you smell good, just so you know. I want you to understand that you fucking reek.
Not a record, though.
No, not a record, just, less bad than usual. But still bad, still very bad.
I do have to say, you do wonderful work keeping my room from smelling like me.
Luckily, there's a lot of airspace up here. It just kind of points to the tall tower that you guys, really you only use the bottom part of it. It's just this long, while you've decorated and have, like, your books and your changing and all of that on this kind of off floor. It's just this big kind of empty tower of open air above. So that helps. All your bad smells float up there, and then they can't get down here. That's how that works.
Oh, actually, I do have a question. You said that the Zor was spending a lot of time in his office. Whenabouts does he return from there?
Yeah, well, Zor gets up, does his weird, like, little workout routine, has breakfast, has his morning meeting with his different constituents, and then he's basically there, at least of recently, from, like, mid-morning until it's time for dinner. It's been taking lunches in there, comes up to dinner with your fucking Zora mom, sees the young Gas, they catch up for just a minute, and then he's back in it until it's time for bed.
Which, generally, when does he retire?
I don't know, fucking around, like, 9, 10 bells at night.
Okay.
Why, what you got
Oh.
planned?
I've just always been kind of curious to see what things he keeps around his office, and I don't want to get in his way. So, I don't know. I'm not gonna do anything stupid necessarily. I might wait until I have someone else filling my shoes for me, but I don't know. My fingers are feeling a bit sticky.
That's because they're covered in blood.
Yes, exactly. Yes. If you grab me a washcloth, that would be wonderful.
Sweet gods, you fucking need it. And Kirk, with the exaggerated eye roll, goes and gets you a cloth and helps you ready up for the evening. Gets you cleaned off and stores your stuff as night approaches, or as sleep approaches. You all, unless there's anything else anybody would like to do before rest? Nope. So, as you guys slumber, since we did do some combat, we're doing things a little bit out of order. you all receive for defeating 3 lions, winning the gladiator pits, and defeating the chimera, split between the 3 of you guys.
4.
4 of you guys, that's correct. 3 divided by 4, so that would be like 11. Chimera's a chonky boy. Everybody adds, with that, then individually we get the 200 from there. Oh, perfect. That brings us to an even 1,000 experience.
Nice.
Yeah, Chimera is not an easy challenge.
Please.
It's actually fucking deadly. So go ahead and add that as you guys wake up the following morning. Some of you feeling a little more refreshed than the day before as you gather your things and head back down to the docks of Mole Master to the Indigo Wings. Is there anything anybody would like to do before you head to your day shift?
Nope.
Excellent. You guys head back onto the Indigo Wings as it kind of sits out in the bay, in the docks of Mole Master. Fergus, you see, comes out, that strange gold necklace around his neck, you know, the top buttons of his shirt down, revealing a hairy dwarven chest, the big beard. Just, oh, hey, welcome back, Odd Jobs. How are you doing? You all look, kinda tired.
Yep. Been a
Yeah,
long
you
day.
know, work hard, party hard.
Oh, when you party, what do you like to drink there? And he looks deeply at you, Jasper.
I've taken to this cherry fire recently.
Would you make me a wisdom saving throw?
Sure. That is an 11.
Oh, Jerry Fire. That's a drink from Cormier. I wouldn't have expected that from a Mole Master, right? But, you know, more minty power to ya. Well, enough questions for today. Why don't we get this ship on the sea? Or I guess continue to have it docked, as the case may be.
Yeah, no idea how much progress we're making. Do you think you're gonna need us for longer than today?
You know, it really kind of depends on how the day goes. If everything goes correctly, I should really only need you for today and tomorrow. That sounds about right there, and we should have everything loaded off, found our buyers, got it all correct, and what haves yas. So, you know, I hope you don't mind an extra day of work for an extra day of pay.
The money is welcome.
Alright, that sounds like a plan there. Well, let's get to it. As you see, Krumeg begins going around the ship, asking his rather strange, invasive questions. Where are you guys at for guard duty today? Who's taking bottom deck? Who's taking top deck?
Joke wants to have his eyes on the waterline again. So he'll
Absolutely.
take top.
Yeah, I think our best sets of eyes should probably be up top, so Jasper's gonna go down below.
Me too.
Jasper and Freddy, you go below docks, kind of just looking around. You can see that a number of cargo has indeed been offloaded at this point. A number of cots, you see that there, most of the sailors are up and about. One sailor still sleeping kind of in his cot. Jove and Rornak, you're on the top side of the ship. Can I have you guys roll me perception checks?
All of us?
No, just Jove and Rory right now.
Passive 12.
17.
17. You look out towards the waterline and see the sun reflecting off of it. It's almost kind of hard to look at some points. However, you see Krumeg is talking to a sailor. You know, you guys are probably towards the bow of the ship. Actually, probably closer towards the aft if you're looking out towards Mole Master. Up towards kind of the captain's wheel, Jove and Rory, you're next to each other, kind of scanning it out. Just this another kind of weird, boring day on the Indigo Wings when you hear Crew Meg go, "Yeah, so what'd you have for breakfast today, Super Sailor?" And you nothing. And Crew Meg goes, "You didn't have anything for breakfast, huh? Are you sure about that?" He leans in closer and, yeah, no, I mean, I guess I had a little something. I was wondering when you'd all make your appearance. All right, he means to do me some harm. And you see Crew Meg grab this sailor by like the back of their shirt skit and throw them overboard with a loud "Cha-psh." Even with your passive perceptions, Jasper and Freddy, you both hear the sound of somebody go psh, as he falls into the bay of Mulemaster. And Crew Meg looks back and he's just got like this stern, calm face as he's just thrown somebody overboard. And there's that moment he looks up to, "I think we're about to have some company here." And Jove and Rory, you look back to Crew Meg as you hear laughter. As you look over the edge, and with that 17 and that 12, you see that same sailor begin to laugh as you see 7 other heads appear out from under the water, and surrounding each one of them is this large tentacle as they are lifted out from the waters and placed on top of the ship. These men covered in barnacles and seaweed and look as if parts of the ocean are growing off of their bodies as they are lifted onto the ship by these tentacles. And Crew Meg looks to you all as he begins to make a dash into his captain's quarters. And that is where we're going to end it for today.
What?
Ooh.
Well,
Ooh!
So, there we
popping off
go.
here too.
Thank you so much, chat. Welcome back after our week off hiatus so that we could enjoy the birthdays of the people closest to us, one of them being our very own Kyle Backer right here. So thank you for being back on this week. We'll be back in another week to continue to episode 30 of our campaign. So let us say goodnight to chat.
Good night, chat.
Good
Nighty night, chat.
Good night, chats. Peace in the Middle East. Much love. We'll see you next Sunday. Buenas noches.